Hey, what's up, everyone? Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host, Vikka Draziv, guys. Welcome to the show. If your first time here, do hit that subscribe and like button. And yes, what an awesome show and guest we have got today. But before we jump into that, yes, what a couple of days have been with the strange lights, right? Or different opinions, what it could be. And it's very interesting topic. Also, we're going to be discussing with our awesome guests. So let's say hello to first our co-host all the way from New York, Mr. Gene Edited. Brother Gene, how are you doing, brother?
Excellent, bro. Doing great, man. Hope everybody out there is doing awesome too. I'd like to say, uh, I'm not a fan of the Hallmark holidays, but I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful ladies out there in the audience. Guys, you are the powerhouse of the world, and that's why they took so much away from you guys little by little. These creeps in charge that do things that we don't understand till 25 years later, right? So thank you all. You're wonderful, and we really couldn't have done it without you, ladies. So happy Mother's Day, and every day should be Mother's Day. You know. So yeah, bro. I hope everybody out there has had a great week, and thanks for spending your time with us. It's always great to see everyone in the chat. Chat's blowing up. Got a lot of great people out there. And I hope you're all having as much fun as I've been having with all these great guests we've been having on lately.
Oh yeah.
Different topics, and it's a lot of fun meeting some really really cool people, learning a lot of new things, and sharing experiences, and I'm loving it, brother. So thanks for the shows, Vika.
Oh yeah, brother, absolutely. And as you say, happy Mother's Day to everyone, right? And also that every day is supposed to be a Mother's Day. Like your mother is always there for you every day, right? So whoever still got your mothers, take care, guys. So absolutely. And before we bring in our awesome guest, I just want to give a quick shout out. If you guys want to support us, what we do here, you're gonna find the links in the description of Kofi, of Gene and me, and also the copper bottle that I sell for the people who want to support Vikad Raziv and what he does, just to show your support. So it's right there in the description. And without any further ado, our guest for today, Flatzoid, brother, please welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. How are you doing, brother?
Good. It's good to be here. Thanks for inviting me. I'm really honored to actually be on this awesome show. I mean, it's been a long time coming. So, yeah, very, very awesome. And it's nice to meet Gene as well. So, it's also cool.
Oh yeah, brother. And I've heard of you, I think quite a few years back. Like that name was not new to me. I think it was in the same time, more or less, if I'm not wrong, that when I came in on YouTube and I saw your name around too, and then when especially I saw your debate with that guy about the theodolite and all those angles, you really destroyed big
Yeah, but you
time,
didn't get
bro.
what an angle is, though. But yeah, I started around, I think, on YouTube about 2000 and between 2018 2019. So, it's been
Exactly.
quite a few
Same
years.
like me. Same like me. That's why we entered more or less in the same time in the YouTube game, because you see, right, the when you get few people that are they come together on the same time, they you get in their algorithm, right? You get their notification and stuff, so you know more or less. So yeah, brother, how did your journey started, and what made you say, "What the hell is going on here?"
Well, with me, it was actually very easy. It wasn't difficult because I studied art, so I was very drilled with perspective and all that stuff. And one year when it was I came across a flatter thing, but I didn't really take it serious. I just thought, oh, that's interesting or whatever. And then we went on holiday down to the beach, and I saw a boat on the over the horizon and stuff. I was like, this can be explained simply using optics, a simple perspective. I can see it going because I see everything converging to the convergence. And I'm like, but this is, and I can see foreshortening. It's like very simple. And while I left it at that, Then later on, I went home and stuff, and it's like, no, this is really bugging me. And then I started looking into it, and then, well, it was almost like an overnight transition. Like, okay, yeah, no, this is explained optically, so therefore, I don't have evidence that it's physical, and it's taken from there. From okay, yeah, we're not where they say we are, and well, where I am today is that's why I have perspective actually in my name, and that's why it was Flatzoid because I was making fun of the geoid. So I was flattening out.
That's great.
But
So the
yeah, it's been a journey.
Oh yeah, so almost 5 6 years, brother, and we know every time it's like more stronger. You get more passionate with time, right? The more we learn,
Hmm.
um, and yeah, the people who follow you and follow all the community have been seeing how much effort we all put in there to get these guys, because all they are doing is twisting with their fake maths, right? Their fake geometry, and they're just twisting stuff with their diagrams. They don't really come with something tangible,
Yeah.
right?
No, but that's what the globe's based on. The globe is based on hijacking what we see in reality, and because they have a bias to make it physical, they just back engineer it. So they take things like, for instance, refraction, where we can see, okay, it's showing it in a different position, but they're going to say, but yeah, it's very selective. It has to say, okay, it's keeping the horizon down. It's just bringing the stuff above the horizon to back. But that's not how refraction work. The refraction has to bring everything at the same. So they're very selective of what they want, and sometimes we can show refraction to go down and up. They need it always to do the same thing. It's really, yeah, it's a bias. They just back engineer. I mean, we can demonstrate bottom up obstruction on flat surfaces. We can explain it, but all we get from the globe side is Earth's too big. Just trust me, bro.
Yeah. With refraction, it has to take all that curvature and bend it all up straight to look straight ahead. It doesn't bend it up any further, bends it, straightens it out this way, and brings it up perfectly in front of you. It's interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're able to think in 3 dimensions, because if you think of a 3 dimensional plane and you, for instance, got refraction that's closer towards you and it lifts that up, that causes the curvature. The curvature, you could say, it's optical. But they don't understand that. They think, oh, no, it's just always where you're looking. It's everything's together. So they think refraction takes curvature away, where it literally shows to make the curvature. But
Absolutely, absolutely, brother. So, oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
no, go on.
Yeah,
Because
just
my
wanted to
whole
give a quick
argument,
shot.
yeah, oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, we're having a lag. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Now I'm saying, because my whole argument is that what we observe is optical. So therefore, any claims of physicality has to be demonstrated, and they're not able to. So they just want us to have faith that it's physical instead of being able to demonstrate it. And this is also why I bang on a lot about gas pressure light containment these days, is to prove a point that you making a claim based on something that involves your gravity to overcome entropy. You can't claim, hey, I can violate natural law and not demonstrate it, and then just say, yeah, have faith, it's just doing what you're saying it's doing. Well, then show it. No, we can't. Well, then you can't claim it. That's my bottom line.
Exactly. Exactly. They're just gonna say we measured at this and we measured that. From where these guys are bringing these measurements, right? Before we continue, I want to give a big shout out to Winston, who just now supported on the coffee by buying that copper bottle. Thank you, brother. That's really
Awesome.
appreciated. And this is the thing, brother. So out of all the so many things that are possible, like, it's so difficult to have one favorite flat earth proof. What is your one of your best, what you say that is the one which really turns me on, or there's no denying of it?
It's difficult because I like all of them practically equally, but I think my close to my heart is perspective. So I'd say that's my being optical, that's my number one, because that's what actually brought me into the flat Earth. So I'll say that's my number one, and then after that, gas pressure, and then Coriolis probably, because I'm
Exactly.
actually going to be debating on Coriolis now on Tuesday with Bob the Science Guy on Jaren. So that's going to be
Nice,
fun.
nice.
Great.
Yeah, he don't have nothing, brother. Don't worry. You have nothing to worry. You don't even need to prepare.
They don't
Right,
have anything, but
brother?
they're not going to come up with anything new.
Nope.
What's funny about perspective. You take the image of looking down a hallway, and you can understand that the walls close in, the floor rises, and the ceiling comes down, and that doesn't stop because something's far away. That just keeps happening, and everything's got a vanishing point.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, and I don't know the size ratio, but Flatzoid, you might know, having studied more art. Um, if you have a pencil versus like a notebook in your hand, both have a vanishing point to your eye. The pencil's smaller, so it vanishes closer. But if I stood certain distance away from you, you could see the notebook, but you couldn't see the pencil. That's that, right? What is that? That's
Yeah,
all
that's
that
the
is, a
diffraction
vanishing.
limit.
I'm sorry.
That's based on diffraction limit. What's resolvable based on the
Okay.
angular size.
Right, exactly. So now, if everybody could just scale that up, it would might make things a little simpler.
Yeah, and this is why I try and explain it to people. Like, for instance, the ships going over the ocean. The ocean, look at it as an angle on a flat plane. It's always the largest because it's closest to your eye. It's growing exponentially from your eye outwards. That boat is getting smaller as it's moving away, and the bottom of the boat is closest to that larger angle. So, according to diffraction, the larger angle is more resolvable. Therefore, the bottom of the boat disappears first. And because we have perspective and the things converge to a vanishing point, converges up and downwards, you have things like little waves and stuff, which would be occulting due to foreshortening, because it's not physically rising; it's just optically rising in front of your field of view.
Exactly, and it's very easy to understand that it's just an optical phenomena, and these guys wants to measure it. I heard you. I heard you that one. You
Yeah,
know
measure
how,
flatness for me. It's like, how? How you want me to
exactly.
measure flatness? Okay. A kilometer of flatness, there, it's measured. What now?
Exactly, or measuring a rainbow, or measuring the sun or moon in itself, right? It's not a
Yeah, yeah.
physical thing that you can, and it's always going to change depending on the location, the observer, the height, right? It's going to be approx.
Temperature.
Exactly, and what I think is approx. There's an approx degrees, right? That the horizon rises to the eye level, right? I think it's somewhere between 20 or something, right? Something that it's going to block anything. That is the reason we feel that the sun is going beyond the horizon, or anything else. These people are claiming to be beyond the curve. Nothing. It's just the rise of that degrees. That is the reason even on the plane, that horizon is still up there,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they
right?
don't understand we have limitations to everything. That's why we get the straw man always. Oh, on a flat Earth you should see Polaris always, or you should always see the Eiffel Towers. And it's like, no, it's just you straw manning because you don't understand how things work. They don't understand you have limitations. Even light has limitations. I can take a cigarette butt and I can stand as high as you want, no curvature taking into account. If I go far enough, you're not going to see it. The light can't reach you. We have things called the inverse square law of light. Even that debunks their whole globe model. I mean, let's for instance take the moon. Based on the inverse square law of light, the light shouldn't reach our eyes if it's getting reflection from the sun, because then it makes it the luminosity brighter than the sun, which is impossible.
Exactly. So, have you heard about dioptra?
Yeah, yeah. I heard you speak about it before.
Exactly. So, dioptra is an ancient theodolite in a way. Look it up. There are also apps on maybe I don't know, on Play Store you can find. It's called Dioptra Light. It's like you have the camera. It shows you all the latitude, longitude, the height. It's almost like a theodolite. But what my understanding is right now, I'm going through it, that it comes from that ancient device, which looks and which takes into account the astrolabe together with that to find those measurements, to do those measurements, whatever the theodolite does. So look into it, brother, more deeper. There's also an app. As I'm digging more deeper, I find more things. I'm gonna share it with you also. But this can really help, even also for us to do observations,
Yeah.
group observations, to find the sun, the moon, or whatever, any kind of objects, or in different time, in different positions, or even the constellations. So that would be interesting. Dioptra,
Geoptra,
Dioptra light.
yeah, look at it, yeah. Because I think that's also something interesting that the people don't understand the globe. They love to make predictions, but they aren't really predictions because it's literally just based on cycles that's been observed for thousands of years. And it's like, you see, the globe predicted this. No, you didn't. It's been predicted. It's been cycled out and observed for thousands of years. So you're just hijacking that and then claiming it's a prediction. I mean, look at the recent eclipse that they happened. They had a path set out, literally like a day or two before the comes out. No, the path has changed. This is where the new path is. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh yeah, also share about that book, Canon de Fenestres, which shows all the paths of the luminaries, of all the paths of the eclipses. More than 8,000 eclipses have been predicted, right? How is it that possible on a globe Earth? It's not possible. So
Yeah, but I
as
mean, they.
yeah,
Sorry,
go
Gene.
ahead. Go ahead.
No, Gene can go. I thought you were say something. Oh, okay.
No, I'm good.
Because I know a lot of these things are based on the solar cycle, but they don't want to accept that.
Exactly. So have you watched the Mechanical Realm, brother?
No. Mechanical realm. Let me check it out.
Bro, this is right up your angle of what we're talking about. You're gonna love that one.
Flattening the curve with our mechanical realm.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Angel of Elevation. How are you doing, brother? Chris Hillman. He's also a specialist with photography and light and how it works. So if you guys want to follow Angel of Elevation, who's right now in the chat, he has an amazing video about the optical effect that is happening with the horizon, right? The refraction and the diffraction. That's why these people call it the dip in the horizon, right? There ain't any dip. It's like just because it's the changing of the medium is what it's creating, right?
Yeah.
So Angle of Elevation has an awesome video if you guys want to check out on that.
Yeah, he rocks. He's a lot in my chat as well. Really shout out to him. He's got some awesome stuff.
Oh yeah, he's also a admin in my group, the World Flat Earth Association on Facebook from past 5 years.
Wow.
He was one of our first admins there. Chris Hillman. So yeah, so yeah, you should check out the documentary, The Mechanical Realm. It's about the Antikythera mechanism and how it's been predicting all the cycles, including the Saurus, the Metonic, the Caliphus, the Exalimus, the
But it's
eclipses.
amazing that Antikythera mechanism, how can I say it's something that's not supposed to have existed if they were so dumb in those years. You know what I mean? It's like they're struggling today to figure out what the hell, how they got that right. And apparently everybody was dumb those days when they thought everything was flat. I don't know.
Yeah, and everybody was a stonemason.
Yeah. Oh, man. Because that's one thing they love saying. Oh, everybody those days were dumb. They were so, literally thought it was flat. So that doesn't make it flat. It's like, yeah, you guys are the new kids on the block. The Globies are literally the new kids on the block, and they using all their data from, well, reality, flat Earth. it's actually sad.
Well, it's true, but that's how they got it so perfect. They had all these years, and you got to give them credit. They did a great job on it. So there's some smart guys behind it, I guess, right? They tricked, lots and lots of people through the years continuously. So, but that's how they did it. That's how it works so perfect because they just reversed engineered it.
Yeah, I mean, reverse engineered with some maths. There we go. Voila. I mean, if someone was smart enough, they could probably do the same on a donut Earth.
It's true.
They phased in the globe 100, a couple of hundred max. They want to say 500 years, but as you said, these guys are new kids on the block. They don't have idea. They're just trying to wrap it around the globe, right? As I also mentioned in our on Geronism in the debate, right? Their model is just taking a flat Earth map, putting on a ball, and putting it on a stand, and this is what they're calling the model. Man, you guys are in 2024. You guys should be able to show or replicate a scale model of the whole cosmos in real
Yeah,
time.
Yeah,
We're in
they should have.
2024. Yeah,
They
go
should
ahead,
have
please.
some real images from space. Also, there's some fake looking stuff out there.
yeah.
Pretty rad.
I mean, how much planets are they discovering every day now? It's insane. And every time it's like, oh, we might find another habitable planet, and it's like 400 trillion light years away.
Yeah, right. and they're getting signals back and forth.
I still find it very interesting how they're able to take using these telescopes and taking such detailed photography from things thousands and millions and billions of light years away, but they're not able to get details on the moon that's supposed to be only 258,000 miles away.
Yeah.
I mean, how is that possible? Why can't they even use a satellite just to say, oh, look, here's the flag, but they can look at some weird formation on something trillions of miles away?
Oh yeah, that is
Really
the
weird.
pseudoscience. That is the pseudoscience because that cannot be verified, right? That's why they have the black hole and the black matter and the all above there. That's why they want us to look there. They don't want us to see in the horizontal, right? They want everybody to look up where
In the
nothing
sky.
can be verified.
That's exactly that. Yeah, it's unverifiable.
Yeah, but this is the thing, brother. This is where we need to debunk them because this is where they are running to the sky. So this is where we need to debunk them because it's more easier for us to debunk them in the sky, right? With the sun, how it moves, the way the light falls on the flat realm, the time zones, right? The cycles, the equinoxes, the solstice, right? The eclipses in itself,
Seasons.
the seasons,
And that's
right?
why I push the gas push out containment a lot, like I said. Because if you can't prove space to be real, how are you going to fight in space? Because they always want to take us to Narnia, take us to space and say, okay, let's talk about the stuff in space. Okay, but first prove space exists then. Prove where you're trying to have your argument exists. Then we can move there. But they fail miserably with that. I mean, just on the basic tenets of what gas is, they require containment. They can't concede that. I got Rachie the other night to concede, okay, I give you your containment. And then literally just hand wave dismiss, but space is still real. On what premise?
That's great. Hey, I got a question for you, bro. Do you happen to know what the formula is? Do they have a formula? Now, I know there's not one, but I never heard of it, so I'm asking everybody, what's the formula for helium and hydrogen combined to create gravity? That's what they say. Right?
Yeah, first of all, they got an issue though because they work on Einsteinian gravity, which is not a force. So they're not able to have a mass attracting mass. And if we look at every gas law in existence, gravity has no direct effect on direction of gas. So even if you wanted to give it as a force, they can't have helium attracted to any other helium, because where does helium go? Away.
Goes up.
Yeah, it goes in all directions. It goes away. It's insane. It literally just goes due to its density.
Oh
But you
yeah,
know,
brother.
how would helium and hydrogen even like find each other and hang out with each other in that quantity?
They can't,
It's just it's kind of a
because
ridiculous story I'm pointing out, really.
because based on gas gas molecules, the forces between attraction is too weak to be able to attract it to another, and even that is a gas behavior 101. So it
Okay.
doesn't matter which gas they take, even if it's the densest gas there is, it
Right.
can't be attracted to one another because
Yeah.
the forces of attraction between the molecules is too great. Remember,
Doesn't
gas is always separated. That's why it's
right.
compressible.
Right. So, and they took two of the lightest ones and put them out there in space and created.
Nuclear fusion, man. Yeah, it's
So that
insane.
that's a formula I've been asking a lot of people, and nobody knows, bro. They're not gonna get that one, I don't think.
No, they think because things go out, it somehow just comes back together. I don't know. It's quite a weird religion.
Yeah. You know, and then they'll use like a drop of water, the surface tension that keeps a drop of water in a round shape. They'll use that as the the like the be all for everything in space now. Everything turns into circular, spherical shapes because of gravity, and it's like, oh
Yeah,
wow,
and that's also actually
scaling
very
things up.
dishonest of them. It's also dishonest of them because when you're doing that and it's got you got that droplet and the surface tension, you got the atmosphere, the gas around it actually pushing from all directions because it's
Absolutely.
so small. It has those intermolecular bonds and it's water. Now try do that in a vacuum. You
Yeah,
can't do it in a
right.
vacuum.
Yeah. No, they drop bowling balls and feathers in a vacuum.
That's also another thing, yeah, because when they do that,
Allegedly.
when we ask them, I think Vikka just wants to say something quickly. Are you fine?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, when they drop it in a vacuum and we ask them, okay, what's your independent variable? Because you guys are claiming science for this, you're claiming you're doing gravity. And then when they change the independent variable, they evoking, let's change the medium. So in other words, you just change the medium, not evoke gravity, because according to the scientific method, you have to manipulate the independent variable, the cause for the effect. And if you're manipulating the medium, it's not gravity. It's just the density ratios of the object. That's why the bowling ball and the feather can fall at the same rate, because you're taking the medium away. If they're claiming, okay, it's gravity, then what's gravity? And my argument I always get is, oh, gravity causes gravity.
A
It's
big
just a
shout out.
self-bouncing basketball.
Oh yeah, big shout out to Matthew, brother, for that membership. Awesome, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Matthew's
And this
awesome.
is the thing. Oh yeah, Matthew, our brother. And Keith, how are you?
Hey, Vika. Hey, Gene.
Are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Keith, check, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keith.
I can hear him.
Yeah, I got the mic. My mic says it's on.
I don't hear him. Do you hear him,
Yeah,
Flatzoids?
yeah, I can hear. It's just weird to hear another Keith because I'm also Keith.
Yeah, it's kind of rare.
But it's good to see you, man. I've seen your video. I think it was like on, what are you talking about? Where you were standing on the beach.
Oh yeah,
Ages ago, yeah.
yeah. A few
It's
of
good
those
to
I
see
did
you, man.
on the beach. I'm at the beach a lot with the kids. So
Aloha from Florida.
yeah, aloha from Florida. So in fact, we just got back from the beach. That picture on my profile right there is the beach for about 30 minutes ago.
Oh yeah. They both are also stars of the mechanical realm. So
Awesome. But yeah,
Yeah, I
I've got it.
shared,
I've got the mechanical realm up on here. And I've bookmarked it. We'll definitely check it out.
I shared it in a bunch of groups again today. I think we got to keep doing that every week or every other week. We got to keep sharing it to keep it out there because it's still just getting started, really.
Yeah.
oh yeah, the people are sharing a lot on TikTok and speaking about the mechanical realm and the flat in the curve. So that's great.
They're gonna
So
like
this
breaks down the Antikythera and many different areas in a lot of detail. I think you're really going to enjoy it, bro. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it. I'm putting it on my community post now with the link.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you. Awesome.
There we go.
Awesome. And this is the thing, right? Going back to the horizon, the sextant is used. They need that horizon for their base measurement to even start doing the triangulation or trilateration, right? And there's an instrument which is being used for that, even though if it's an optical phenomena, it's been used for that measurement, and including the altitude directional indicator on the plane. The life of all the passengers depend upon that device, which is called an ADI, which uses that horizon level to navigate, right? Two instruments important in navigation, marine and aviation, uses those reference horizon line to navigate. Exactly, to navigate. It's not possible on a globe. Why don't the people really understand that?
But that's why I love with the airplanes though, when they got the gyro spinning on the runway to give that horizontal reference. That gyro keeps a rigid plane in space, and it always keeps that horizontal. So no matter where you're flying, that's what's going to tell you your orientation in your plane. So if they're going around a globe, by the time they get from, let's say they flew from the north to the equator, the plane's supposed to be flying vertical.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
So last night at my house, my son brought one of his friends here who is a student at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University here in Daytona Beach. And so I just looked at my son and I said, "Hey, can I ask your friend about his aircraft?" And he just smiled at me and said, "Yeah, go ahead." So we started talking. I mean, we talked, it ended up being about an hour conversation, but I said, "Do you learn about the top of descent calculation?" He goes, "Oh yeah, absolutely." I said, "Well, what does that calculation assume in order to be correct?" And he says, "What do you mean?" I said, "It assumes a flat baseline because the earth is flat and it's not a globe." So that opened up the conversation. And like you just said, Vikka, with the sextant, the sextant has to assume a flat baseline, or triangulation, it doesn't work. I mean, a triangle is three flat sides. So the sextant and the top of descent calculation is something that got him really thinking last night. And as I could tell he was open, I pulled out Eddie's book, the 16 emergency landings, and I let him look through it and take pictures of different things. So he had a lot of comments. And questions as well. So I gave him my number, told him to call me back if he had any other questions, because I'm sure he would. And then today on Facebook, one of the Globetards or Globe Shills, whatever it was, he said, "Look, I'm a pilot and I'm a mechanic. I'm an airplane mechanic, and nobody believes what you're." I said, "This is not about belief, bro. This is about fact. This is about what's observable, measurable, and repeatable. None of us believe the Earth is flat. We all know that the Earth is flat, and here's how." And I tagged Brett in the comments. Say, "Hey, Brett, do you want to educate your young Padawan here?" The Flatzoid, if you don't know, Brett is in the Flatten the Curve documentary with all the other commercial and military pilots. And he just shared some of the government documents and the NASA documents, about a linear aircraft, flying over a flat, non-rotating plane. And he also made a comment I had not heard before. He said the first 30 pages of that book is nothing but math. And none of that math applies to a globe. All of it applies to a flat, non-rotating Earth. So there's more and more people, starting to wake up. I think flat Earth is going to be huge this year in 2024 as far as people becoming aware of it. People like Tyler and what he's doing. I mean, it's just amazing to see everybody that has come online just in the last 12 months or so. I can't imagine what the next 12 months are going to hold. But it's the arguments that I used to get from the Globers on social media. I don't get those arguments so much anymore. I get, "Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you need to go back to school. You're an idiot." Nobody believes that. I mean, but they don't engage in much debate, because the things that we know, which is just real simple truth, simple proofs, it's simple science that they can repeat themselves if they wanted to. It's so, yeah, I think we say all the time, the truth is simple, lies are complicated. It's so simple. Most people are starting to comprehend it if they will be intellectually honest with themselves and with others. If cognitive dissonance kicks in and that's too strong, then they're just going to keep buying the lie, lying to themselves, lying to others. But anybody who's intellectually honest are starting to grasp uh, this flat Earth concept just with real simple things like the sextant or like the top of descent. I told this kid last night, I said, yeah, I had a conversation with one of your teachers at your school about a month ago. She actually teaches one of your classes on aeronautical sciences. And she's trying to get me to have a conversation with the space program, whatever the space classes that they have at Riddle is. And I said, listen, I appreciate the offer, but it's never going to happen. Those guys that are professors in the so-called space program at Embry-Riddle, they're not going to give anybody the time of day that contradicts what they're promoting and literally making millions of dollars a year from as they're teaching this to young kids that are coming in their college. I said, if they're open, I'll be glad to sit down and have a conversation. I'll be glad to have a debate. If they want to put me on stage, me versus them, I'll be glad to talk to them and ask them some simple questions about the globe and ask them some simple questions about flying, and let's see where this thing goes. But of course, just like Neil deGrasse Tyson, all the other guys, they're not going to engage in a debate with anyone even halfway knowledgeable because the truth will make them look silly. The truth is a light, and the lies that they're perpetuating is nothing but darkness. And the light dissipates the darkness. The light shines into the darkness, and that's what we're doing as truth seekers and people promoting flat Earth and false history and false astronomy and such. We're shining light into the darkness of people's minds of all these lies that they believe. Truth is light, lies are darkness. And so the more of us are promoting truth, the more light we're shining into the minds of people. And that should just have a ripple effect across all of humanity over the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Will there be a mass awakening in my lifetime? I hope so. But I definitely think within my children's lifetime, there will be a mass awakening of people coming to more of the simple truths of this realm that we live in. So that's it for me now, guys. I wanted to jump in and say hi. I got all my kids here. We just got home from the beach, so it's cleanup time, get ready for bedtime, and that's always a challenge, I'll say. But it's good to see you guys. Flatzoid, I haven't met you before. It's good to meet you. I mean, we can connect online and keep in touch. I would love that.
Shot, man. Yeah, for sure. Thanks for coming, man.
See you,
Good
see
to
you
see you,
later,
Keith.
Keith.
Thanks,
Yeah.
bro.
Love you guys. Appreciate you.
Same here, brother.
But he does awesome work there. Definitely. But yeah, one thing you also got to think about with the sextant, when you look at the circle of equal altitude, the GP of the luminary you are observing has to be on the same plane as the observer, or it wouldn't work. So if you find something that's, let's say, 3,000 nautical miles away, that means the GP of that star is on the same horizontal plane as the observer, which makes your triangle. And that's impossible on a globe.
Exactly, and this has been happening for thousands of years, even before the globe idea was born. People were navigating, people were constructing, people were doing maths, people were doing
Mhm.
philosophy, right? Alchemy,
Exactly.
right? At a
You know,
level that doesn't exist. Go ahead, Gene.
yeah, the narrative has us thinking that navigation wasn't, the way it is until Columbus started sailing all around, and that's just kind of obviously really not true at this point. With the structures that are similar all over the place, founded in years, that means they were found. Built in. The construction timelines are in today's standards would be, an amazing achievement. But
Yep.
102 and 3 and 500 years ago, they were building these things 1,000 years ago that we can't even touch today. That's one of my favorite parts is the buildings.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, we're surrounded by these towns all over the United States. In between from big town to big town, there's 50 towns that have evidence of the mud flood or buried buildings or something happened in this place that
Yeah,
they ain't.
there's definitely a history that they're trying to keep quiet. I mean, I definitely take that there were giants as well. I mean, think about it. They probably had giants building things like the pyramids as well, because how do you move such big rocks with such precision as well and getting it laid on. They can't even figure it out with today's technology.
Right.
It's quite a thing.
Right. And if you look in the pictures of the more modern ones of the construction, they'll show a couple construction pictures. They look edited. Editing, photo editing came out in the 1840s, and it started with a political movement about Lincoln. Somebody, something finagled somebody finagled that with that. But maybe sound. The only thing I could possibly think of is maybe they might have moved stuff using vibration, sound, or
Frequency is a big thing, yeah.
frequency, or I kind of tend to think that we're given the table of elements, but that's just what we're given. Is there more stuff? I don't know, but I'm starting to think that there probably is other
I think
things.
I think that's one of the reasons why Antarctica is kind of off limits to us normal folk, because there's probably elements there that they are keeping from us. Because I do know there's definitely, before I was even a flat earther, I was looking into hidden technologies that the government does keep quiet from us.
Cool.
If you think the government doesn't have technologies that we all have, no, you guys are naive. I'm sorry.
But brother, watch the mechanical ram. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. The technology and everything related to technology. It's crazy. Yeah, there are people in the chat who are asking, is there a link we all can call into the chat? Then somebody else say, yeah, we can call into a chat. Is that the people who want to jump in the live or something? Is that about that?
I think so. Sounds like it.
All right. Do you mind if that these people want to jump
Anybody
in
can.
and say hello or something? All right. So I'm going to leave a link there. If somebody wants to come and say hello to us and to Flatzoid. Normally we don't do when we have guests, but we have taken permission from our guests. So there you have it, guys. If you guys want to come up, go ahead.
And I was thinking while we were talking about the navigation, yeah, it's nonsense when they say that it only works at the globe. I mean, the Phoenicians were one of the first people to do celestial navigation. They were flat earthers, or the Vikings even. They all did celestial navigation based on the flat Earth. It's the globe nonsense came after us. They only use the Haversine formula because it connects with their math, which is, again, like we said, they back engineer the optics. I mean, when we look at, for instance, the latitudes and stuff, it's based upon elevation angles taken from a flat plane. They just want to say, oh, it's globe based, but no, it's back engineered totally. What's up,
I have
Hugo?
a question for you, bro. When Eratosthenes did his test between Said and Alexandria, it's 500 miles, right? I think.
Stadia, 500 stadia. They can't even tell us. I think it's like 800 miles or something. They said, I don't know. But the guy counted it by walking. He paced.
He hired professional walkers, right? I love it.
I want to see someone do that.
Here's my question, though. How did they know it was 12 o'clock in both places at the same time, bro?
Exactly. And 500 miles walking till the guy reaches there is going to be winter.
Think about trying to count your steps for 500 miles. I mean, you're walking 3-4 months now. You're telling me you counted those steps perfectly.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah, completely insane.
Hey, what's up, Hugo? Welcome, brother. How are you doing?
Hey, I just wanted to hop on quick and say hi since you gave us the option. And Flatzoid, I started following you not long ago. I can't stop watching your videos. Every day I put the alarm on and I'm like, man, I can't miss this. And then I saw you coming off, and then I saw Vikka on. Then I came on Vikka, and boom, you're here again. I was like, all right.
Nice.
That's good
nice
to see, man.
Hugo.
Yeah, so if no one knows me in the chat there, I do long distance observations. I got a P950. And that's mostly what brought me to Flat Earth, is seeing way too far, and not just sometimes, but most of the time. And I keep increasing my distances and going as high as I can, as low as I can.
What's your longest shot, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, my longest shot so far without any filter or lenses on, because I don't have anything yet. I'm gonna go buy them soon. I've been able to capture an island about 68 miles away from me.
Oh, awesome.
And I would say that's my furthest one so far. But right now where I am, I have a 37.5 mile observation of an island that's only 735 feet of elevation. And I can go all the way down to 6 inches above the water and zoom in
still
on
see
it.
it.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. Maybe it was meant to be that we talked, because last night on Jaron's show, it was really, really late, but he was looking through these cameras because, they discontinued the P900s. And people, I don't know if you knew that, but if there's one that's already converted, it's like a $350 conversion to infrared on a P900, like 5 batteries, so many chargers, all kind of stuff for $700. So
well,
it might be your opportunity.
Who's selling that? You?
Well, I don't know. It was Jaron was looking through some other people's channels that were selling them, and then he looked on eBay. So maybe shoot him a Telegram message or something, and maybe he can hook you up with that.
Yeah, I got his
or rewatch the
Telegram.
show.
I'll ask him for sure, because I'm gonna need a second camera, because I want one that's converted and one that's not.
Awesome.
The infrared is awesome though, because it takes out all the glare and everything. You can actually see much clearer.
It like cuts through the haze.
Infrared's really cool.
Nice to meet you, Flatzoid, by the way. I kind of discovered you on Jaron's debate the other night with you were debating somebody else. You tore him up, but anyway, so I met you.
Oh, shot, man. Yeah, I'm going to be debating on Tuesday night again against Bob the Science Guy, so it's going to be fun.
Oh, that's going to be funny. That's going to be so funny.
Where to watch it?
Jaron, because we're going to be debating Coriolis and flight dynamics. So Bob is going to suffer.
You knew that hurricanes can't form on a flat Earth, right?
Oh yeah, no, they definitely can.
At the spin of the Earth, the spin of the Earth, No, I'm joking.
But I love it how they concede at the end of the day. Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the spin of the Earth. It's literally just due to pressure systems, the wind moving. That's what causes hurricanes. Like, well done.
Yeah.
Better.
If you really want to fuck with them, just say Globers need to turn their head a little more to the left when they walk. And, they'll get it. Awesome, guys. I didn't want to interrupt y'all. Y'all go ahead. I'm just listening. But nice to meet y'all for real.
You too, man.
Same here. Good to have you.
Thanks for jumping on, brother. Oh yeah, we have had Bob the Science Guy on TikTok, Hugo, right? Few times, and we smashed him like.
Oh yeah, and it's so ridiculous. He contradicts himself all the time. He says something and then he says something else that debunks the last thing he said. So it's gonna be so funny to have him on debating.
He's debating backwards.
Oh yeah, like he just ask the questions in a way that he won't think about the next one you're gonna ask, and then his answer is gonna debunk his next
domino
answer.
effect.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I've met a few of those Glovers.
But yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know if you watched him when he was debating Angel on TikTok.
Yeah, I was in the chat listening to that actually. So it's funny that he actually got the recording and replayed it.
That was awesome.
Oh yeah, brother! Come and practice on TikTok, Flatzoid. Fine tune your stuff more, brother. It's nice. So you're heated up and you go to the debate and.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm so time limited at the moment, like with everything. That's why I like practice. I use TikTok practically just to advertise for YouTube at the moment, though, because I do have a TikTok. But yeah,
the people are waking up. People are waking up on TikTok big time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like left and right.
I see that too. Yeah, I see that.
Oh yeah, with Hugo, what we were doing that experiment live, like 100 people watching, 10 people in the panel, and Hugo doing that, showing like people helping, like so real
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
it's
did
good
it
to
when I
show
did it
people the
live.
physical process. Sorry, guys, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, exactly. So when I did it live, I didn't go in the water because to do it at 6 inch, I gotta sit down in the water. So I did it like from the shore, but I was
Yeah,
only about 2.5 foot above the water when I took that video, and I did it live.
yeah. I think if people really understood, that things compress in the distance, perfect examples are like you take a simple art class and teach you about perspective. It, 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 yeah, it hits your brain a lot quicker. So we're seeing something that people don't even know what perspective means. Half of them, you know what I mean? But I have faith in the younger generation, man. There's a lot of truthers, and it's spilling over into flat Earth. Kids that are my age, or my son's ages. So yeah, man, I like seeing that. There's hope. There's hope.
Yeah, the one thing I gotta like point out to the people though is because the Globies think perspective in art is just the same as what we see in reality, but not understanding perspective is there to try and how can I say communicate what we see in three-dimensional space.
Yeah, the
So
limit
what we
to what we
see is
see.
So then they say,
Yeah.
but according to perspective, nothing is going to go below your eye level. It's like, yeah, no one claims that. It just appears to do that.
Yeah.
It's more of
Hey,
You got to get the
welcome.
windshield wipers.
Hey, welcome, Sovereign Soul, brother. How
Oh.
are you doing? Welcome to Heliopsychosis.
You're very good, Vika. Thank you for having me on. Am I pronouncing that correctly, Vika? Or is
Yeah,
it
yeah,
like
brother.
Vika?
Yeah,
Okay.
brother.
I'm trying to use that rule of consonants following vowels. Usually, if it's a double consonant, it's a short sound of the vowel. So that's a good
There
rule
you
of
go.
thumb. But
What's
yeah,
up, Saba?
they don't get. See, this thing I've tried to get people to understand is up to where you see the apparent horizon, you have a full field of view. And I believe it's like 70 degrees down to 50 degrees up. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And so as the ground appears to slope up, it's not really sloping up. It appears to slope up. It's just a little bit below your eye level. Of course, you're not standing on the ground, or you're standing on the ground. So your eyeballs
Eyes
aren't
above the
right
ground,
on the floor. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Right.
once you've done that, everything in your field of view here, if you thought of your field of view as a expanding cone, so to speak,
Mhm.
like an expanding cone, now you've got off the bottom half of the cone. You're only getting the top half of the cone going, and the rest of it is now compromised by the horizon itself. So your field of view is restricted, and therefore, as things go away from you, not having that full field of view, having the bottom portion of your field of view obstructed,
Impressive.
as it equally gets smaller due to angular size, it's going to appear to do that from the bottom up because your field of view has been compromised.
That's true. That's true.
When you zoom in,
Hey, and I
you're
thought
only going to magnify that which can already be seen from your perspective and your field of view.
right. Hey, I was thinking of something, so as you were talking about that. So if we weren't using a camera and we just told the Glober, go get in the boat and just go out until I tell you to stop, where I don't see you anymore. Your head just went underwater, right?
Mhm.
But then he stays there in that one spot. So now you send somebody else out in his position and tell them to go on out until the man in the boat doesn't see him anymore. And that, if you keep doing it, repeating it, there's never a physical horizon. It's always
Right.
apparent. You see
Well,
what I'm saying? Yeah.
look, you could
The
do this.
horizon
Have
by
a guy that's
definition.
only have a 5 foot tall guy, and then have Shaquille O'Neal. Both go and do the same thing. And once the guy standing next to Shaquille says, "Yeah, he just went over the horizon," Shaquille's like, "No, he didn't.
Right.
No,
Exactly.
he's right there. Here, come up
Yeah,
on
but
this
I'm-
ladder. Look, see, there he is." And this is going to
Yeah, but-
continue until it gets beyond your resolution capability.
Yeah, but by definition, horizon is an optical apparent position. You have to imagine it like having a flat plane, and along that flat plane is where your eye meets the angle of that apparent convergence. That's it.
Exactly,
It's
and
optical.
exactly, and the reflection of the light. The light is gonna fall on object is returning because there's an object. If there's a geographical location or a mountain, that light is coming back to you is because of that geography exists on a flat plane, right?
Exactly.
So it might look like it's rising, but it's just the light falling.
Yep.
Yeah.
They always love to talk about refraction, but they don't like to take into account diffraction. You see,
Well,
Exactly.
they only do when
Yeah.
they say, "Oh, but look on the boat, the windows are getting smaller, but the bottom of the boat's not getting smaller." But that's what I said earlier. Look at the ocean, the floor as the largest angle. It's going to be resolvable. You're not going to resolve the boat. It's the same as taking let's take a piece of paper and you stick a hair on it. The further away, I can see this hair and the paper, but the further away I go, like you with your notebook and the pen earlier,
Yep.
you're not going to see the hair anymore, but now you see the paper.
Yep.
Eventually, the paper is not going to be resolvable anymore. You're going to see the person. Then the person is not going to be resolvable. You're going to see the ground.
right.
It's exactly the same. Because the larger angle is always going to be more resolvable than the smallest angle, and they don't want to take that. They just ignore that.
Right.
Yeah.
If they could just scale that up, it's perfect.
Mhm.
You know, it's
And eventually you get to a limitation with your angle, because your angle is, the angle always gets shallower the further away. So eventually, like on the ocean, you got a small little wave, and because it's angled at a certain way towards the boat, you can only zoom that wave now. Now the wave's not physically in front of the boat; it just appears that way because of your angle
Mhm.
towards it.
Hey, do you guys think of sight like this? So say we're in this three-dimensional field of view from our eyes, and an optometrist told me this a long time ago, right? He said everything that you're looking at is really in two dimensions. The only thing that makes it look like, without moving, you can go up and grab things, obviously, in your field of view, but if you just stayed in one spot and looked, it's only shadows and reflections and light that make it look 3D. Like
Yeah.
when the ground ramps up and the sky ramps down, it's the same thing. Like if you're in your room, in any situation, until you reach your hand out to touch something or go around an object, it's always going to appear two-dimensional.
Yeah, you got
You
to
see what I'm
think of
saying?
it
With
as
shadows and
you
light.
gotta,
Yeah.
you got to think of it as looking in a mirror. That's why it's flipped.
Yeah,
Your brain
good point.
makes it the right way around again. So it's looking
Yeah,
in a
it makes it seem like it's 3D. Yeah. It's a good way to
That's
put
why
it.
when
You're
that's why
also
when you got a camera and it looks, you got the field of view and you got the depth of field. Let's look at a different kind of planes on one another. That's why it looks 3D, but yeah, it's two-dimensional
Mhm.
planes stacked.
This is also an effect. It's due to the fact that you have stereoptic vision rather than monocular
Explain
vision.
that.
Okay, so
Explain.
with all right, so with stereoptic vision, you've got a bit of parallax going on right there, so you can actually distinguish depth. Okay,
You mean when in motion? When in motion? Is that what you
or
mean?
even standing still. This is how
Okay,
you
okay.
know. I can know. I can look right here and know this microphone is closer to me than the other objects beyond it, and this is due to your brain's able to sort that out, and it's because you're looking through two
Yeah.
lenses at the same time. If you
Uh-huh.
want to try an experiment one time, just cover up one eye for the day. You'll miss picking up shit. You'll step the wrong way going downstairs. You'll stumble. You'll have a hell of a time.
very difficult
working out the depth.
adjustment.
Yep.
Right. That's a really difficult adjustment to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I was younger, I had to go through that.
The parallaxical effect that happens due to your stereoptic vision, albeit very minor, because of the distance your eyes actually are apart. It is
Yeah.
able to do that and gives you what's.
That's kind
Have
of.
you ever seen the old
I hear you.
photo viewer? You ever seen those old photo
Uh-huh.
viewers that they hold up? It'll have two identical
Yeah.
One's
next to each
upside
other.
down.
And when you look through them through the stereoscopic thing, it looks three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good.
And the further, exactly, and the
one more
further
thing.
you go away. Yeah, go ahead, RG.
No, I'm sorry. I'm going to say this. I'm going to jump off because I got to eat. But what I was going to say is, you know these. You can go to numerous websites to find these brain illusion tests.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know what I'm saying? Where you see one thing, but it's really an illusion, and and then if you click on yes or no or wherever, Anyway, it's an illusion test, and like 9 out of 10 times you get fooled, and just by looking at something that's making your brain think one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for letting me on, Vikka, and nice to meet y'all. I don't have a
Oh
channel,
yeah.
but I support everybody, and I just like jumping in to say what's up every once in a while. So,
It's good to see you, Archie, man.
Awesome. Thanks, brother.
Thanks for
jumping
coming
all
on,
right,
on.
man.
guys, you have a good night, man. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about before. I think RC was saying that. I'm not sure who was saying it, but if you take somebody and put them a mile away and level it off, and then you put someone else a mile away, and you keep doing that. That was I don't know if you guys ever heard of a guy called Brian Mullen. He did balls out
Uh-huh.
physics, right? Yeah, bro.
Force
That
the
guy
line.
was awesome, and he did a thing. He wanted to do a thing called force the line, and just keep repeating level line after level line, and it's easier said than done, I suppose. You know, it's a big undertaking to get something like that done, but you know, I think that's above and beyond, though. For me, like I'm kind of simple about it. I'd like to see where the water's curving. You know,
Yeah, you would think it would be observed by now or anything, but there's nothing.
over and over too.
What I wanted to add also to what Sowen was saying, right? The stereographic vision, right? The further you go away, then it becomes more two-dimensional, right?
Right.
It looks, that is the reason we have so much of compression of image and light and optics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly that, because there's more information to fit into that little tighter space. So you're getting the compression, you're getting more diffraction, you're getting more of those opacity changes and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
you can only process so much things. That's why we have to explain to globies that you have a limitation to everything. It
Yes.
doesn't matter what shape the Earth is; it's got nothing to do with it. What we see is literally based on optics. It has nothing to do with a globe Earth. They just interpret it as a globe because they need it to be a globe. It's not because it is. They want it to be.
That whole stereoptic thing that I was talking about is exactly why if you put an iguana on a box top and had some people off in the distance and you're just looking, there's no way that your brain is going to process that lizard is bigger than those people and attacking them. But if I do it through a single lens, like a movie camera, like they did in the 50s, I have a dinosaur attacking people, and it's as realistic as I can because it's just the fact that you're looking at it through a monocular device that will work. And that's how foreshortening actually takes place. You know, you can have Flatzoid was saying, a little 3-foot wave can actually block an entire 250-foot tall structure off in the distance because of foreshortening. And when you zoom in, it doesn't help your case any. You just made that wave appear bigger.
You just magnify.
All you do is just zoom in on what you already could resolve, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's funny because they really don't understand that part. Because I got some people that always ask me, but where's the bottom of the island? Why can't you see the beach? Or like, I'm like, are you really kidding me? Like, I'm 6 inches above the water. Like, you think there's no waves for 37.5 miles between me and the island that could like do the foreshortening effect and hide a good section of it? But that doesn't mean it's curving. It just means you got something obstructing it.
Over a flat plane. Yeah, this is one thing we also got to explain. We have topography. When we say it's flat, we're not saying it's like literally just a smooth surface flat. We're saying the plane itself, the foundation is flat, and then you got topography on top of that plane. So you got mountains and hills and valleys and all that, but it's over a flat foundation.
Mm-hmm. It's sea level for a reason, you know. I could imagine all the beaches are right around the same height.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they need to say, oh, but it's just following the curve. So, okay, prove it to me. No, plumb bobs, they don't all, they're all vertical, but they diverge from each other. Okay, show it to me.
There's no divergence, bro.
There's never ever been observed divergence.
All structures are parallel to the plane, and there's zero divergence ever.
Yep.
And you know what they say? They say that the Verrazano Bridge was built. The two towers are 700 feet tall, Yeah, 4,800 feet apart, and there's inch and 5/8 difference between the top and the bottom. So if they can measure that, that then there's a formula to that, and that's not available to
Well,
the division. It's not there.
the fact they think that's due to Earth curve is just laughable. I mean, it's literally a tension bridge due to physics. When if you ever guys seen when someone does tug of war, they have to lean to keep that tension on the rope. That's exactly how the Verasana bridge is created. The mechanics behind it is have a flat level base, but the top has to lean a bit so it can give that tension. It's got nothing to do with Earth curve. Now they are ignorant to this.
Yeah, they say they're both plumb. Also, it's perfectly plumb is perfectly plumb, and that's the difference. I don't buy that.
That's
It
what I'm
might
saying.
be a
That
difference.
the base is, but that's the base is plumb, but
Uh-huh.
it leans this way to tension. Doesn't mean the base isn't plumb anymore. It's still at 90 degrees, the base, but
Right.
they built it at that little increment so it can give enough tension to hold it together. But now the thing is now it's curved because the base is 90 degrees. The fact that 90 degrees is at the bottom, and it shows you it's flat, dude. It's the same 90 on the plate.
You can't have it both ways. If it's that tall, both sides have to come out like a cup. You can't have it plumb and like vertical at the same time, both sides. It just does. They want everything both ways.
I was just noticing Mr. Groovy House is having a problem with this whole idea. I'm going to just do something real quick. He doesn't believe the thing about the 3-foot wave. Okay. My thumb is very, very small, isn't it? And we notice that I cannot cover my face with my thumb, can I? I cannot obstruct your view of my face with my thumb because it's little, right? Now I'm going to bring my thumb closer to you. Oh my God. Look at that. How that little bitty thumb has obstructed my entire head. Look at there. I'm gone now. Yes, it's due to perspective. As something goes away from you, it changes in angular size, generally getting smaller and smaller as it moves away from you. So if something is in the foreground and it's not as small in the angular perspective, then the object has become in the far distance. It will indeed block it out, guy. That's
is utter desperation by the Globers, right? As also like someone mentioned, and also Ugo mentioned earlier about why I'm not seeing the beach, right? We are speaking about 2 feet of water and 36 miles.
Yeah, right.
A big red flag.
Going too.
If you've been on a rowboat in a lake, you know that the wind and the temperature changes. If there's any rivers flowing through the lake, might be currents. Winds will give you a topographical lake. But you know what? When that lake freezes over, it's perfectly flat.
Yep. Yeah, that's why they say water finds level when at rest. That's why you can go to a lake when it's damn still. It's perfect mirror image. And there's no curve, nothing. It's like zilch. I don't know where they come with this curve idea, water curves. There's just never measured curve.
No, there's not. There's nothing that even suggests it. I don't know if anybody's flown. I don't fly a lot, but recently I did, and the cloud coverage was thick, but it all just appears to be flat. Nothing would make me say, oh yeah, well, really far over that. Now I can see it looks like it tapers off a little. Nothing, zero.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, also something we've got to figure out is we're always seeing through optical. We always have refraction. There's a day that's never refractive. When has the curve ever been observed as physical?
Right, it's just an apparent.
I mean, look at that. How can a glober look at that and say, "Oh yeah, this is physical, guys"? Come on.
Measure that. Give me a measurement. Give me that 0.502 measurement.
I had a place here that did the exact same thing when I was near La Ventana in Baja. There was a point and there was a lighthouse, and I could watch it from the exact same location like not move my tripod and take pictures of it throughout the day, like every 30 minutes, let's say. And every 30 minutes, my picture was different. Like it went up, it went down. Sometimes you saw the lighthouse. Sometimes it was like all warped and the island was stretched. Sometimes you couldn't see the island. Well, I actually it was just a point. So sometimes the point became an island because a section of it was missing and I could only see the end of it. And at one point, it even turned into a mirage upside down over everything. And I got that on photo also, all from the same location. And then you're going to ask me to, like Vikka says, to measure that, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So guys, I wanted to ask you guys about the last few days that have been going around with the lights, the aurora borealis, and have you guys seen something? Were you able to pick up anything where you guys are?
No, but like I said before we started, that a lot of people are saying it shouldn't be. It's not natural. It's based on like Project Bluebeam and weather manipulation, like HARP and things, which I do. I'm definitely behind because it's just something that shouldn't be occurring where it was observed here in South Africa. And the colors is based on the excitement, like Gino says, the excitement of the gases, which I think is based on how they do the weather modifications. There's so much weather phenomena associated all of a sudden where this has been shown as well. Weird storms everywhere, everything's getting flooded everywhere where there's not supposed to be. So it's definitely not natural.
I went out, tried to see it. Somebody that only lives a few miles from me put, not even a mile from me, put a picture on Facebook and it said, oh, look, you can see them if you look north. And I was like, okay. So I went outside. I don't see nothing. I'm looking all around. I don't see anything. I pull out my camera and I can see like this faint glow. And I said, I'm not seeing anything. And somebody says, well, you can only see it with a camera. And I'm like, come on, man.
Oh yeah, that's what happened to me, Sovereign. Yesterday, when I saw that video, somebody said me, you're not going to see it like this. You have to see it through a camera or a mobile. You have to see where it looks like city lights. It might just look like normal lights, and you just see it with the camera and you start seeing the colors. And I did that yesterday, and I was seeing it because I live in off-grid, right? I live in nature. So I had some part that are cities away and you could see the light, but there are some part there was no city and you could see some light in the sky at 3 a.m. right? And I put my mobile like this and I'm seeing all those colors. And on the video, I don't see anything, but on the photo, I do see things. The same lights with strange effects.
What kind of phone you got, bro?
I got a Galaxy S9. This was the best I got. And it didn't show me any colors.
Could be pro. Do you have an iPhone, Vikka?
No,
I have a Xiaomi.
All right. Because I'm just wondering if it could be programmed into the phone.
This over here, there's no city or anything over this way.
Exactly. This is what I've seen also. This is what exactly I saw.
That's as good as I got. And you can tell the exposure's enough that I'm picking up stars.
That's pretty cool.
You know?
Same with me. And I had some more combination with these lights, similar like this, but with a little bit more combination. Try it tonight, Sovereign. Try it tonight.
Yeah, that just looks like city in the distance, and there's no city there.
Mm-hmm. That's how you know where Vegas is when you're going through the desert. You see something like that.
That's what I heard.
Hey, Hairless Primate, check the hail. Absolutely new to Flat Earth. Been looking and I cannot find the damn curve. Yeah, we've all seen that.
I think it's on vacation permanently.
Welcome to the club.
But I gotta head out because my phone's gonna die, and you guys won't be able to hear me with my speaker on my phone if I don't have my headphones on. So I'll be in the chat. But it was nice meeting everybody. Thanks for having me on, and enjoy the rest of the live.
Good to see you.
Oh yeah. Thanks for jumping on, Yoas.
Yeah, thank you.
It was good to have a voice.
That work, bro.
And we have Flat Earth Test. How are you doing, brother? And welcome.
Pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Good to see you,
Awesome,
Brian.
brother.
I had an idea I wanted to run by y'all. I need just a minute though. I'm a big fan of all y'all, man. So I'm enjoying the show so far.
Cool. Good to have you here, man. Thanks for coming on.
Right on,
Yeah,
man.
Brian rocks.
So
But yeah,
yeah,
I do think it's definitely weather manipulation and stuff though. It has to be. It's not natural stuff.
Mm-mm.
oh yeah, the distances that we've been looking. I am in southern Spain, like
Wow.
almost near the equator, and I saw these things. Right? It's no way it's possible because we know that aurora borealis is supposed to be around the North Pole, right? And the aurora australis maybe is more dispersed in the southern, but reaching till here, I think it's the first time ever that it's happened
Everywhere, yeah.
that this could be possible, right? And also, as Keith was mentioning about this aeronautic engineer from Flatten the Curve, our documentary, he also shared this about this HARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, May 8th to 10th, 2024, operated by Geophysical Institute of the University of Alaska Fairbanks.
That's
Yeah,
far.
I mean, think about it when they're exciting all the gases and everything with frequencies and stuff. It's obviously going to have some weird effects everywhere. That's why I say if you look at everywhere now, there's just floods in places that there's not supposed to be floods. There's like weird cloud formations
Yeah,
and
man.
odd stuff happening.
Watch what happened here. This was, and they picked up they just like at 3:00 in the morning, they like pulsed all the 5G network.
Yeah.
And then all these storms just showed up. Watch this shit.
Friends and family, this is the most not talked about hidden subject that there's going to be across America. Every time I've posted it, it gets taken down. So I'm going to have to do it this way. What you're seeing are the 5G towers. When they went on to high alert, they hit 750,000 watts. And look at that, they popped up on the reflectivity index. And also, we see a weird burst that happened up in Montana around our Minutemen. But then we also see stuff that happened just like in the Midwest, and it happened. Then they were wondering about, like, hey, for sure we're going to have tornadoes. Well, of course, they're probably going to be for sure about tornadoes when they have 750,000 watt towers that beam off. These things are bigger than most radio stations, and they're circular. So when they pop up as a circle, it's pretty obvious to tell what they are. Now, you see all those towers, those are 5G towers. And that's what happened. And then as soon as that happened, we had all this wicked weather that happened. So are they using these as weather manipulation? Well, personally, I would like to be informed.
Relays.
If we're going to be around, or if we're going to be fried in the middle of the night, 750,000 watts. I'd
Look
like
at
to
that.
know so I can take a trip and just not be a part of the experiment. What about you? So every time I've tried to post this, it's been basically taken down immediately, whether it's been on any of the other platforms. This is so top secret. I'm not kidding you. See how it basically the towers are directly affecting the weather patterns that we have. They turn these on in the middle of the night from like 9 p.m. when we were sleeping, and then they did this again. But the whole entire East Coast of the United States has been affected. It's not so heavily predominant in Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, but weird streaking has happened. Okay, and so people have caught this on the radar, and as it flashed, like I said, only safe states: North Dakota, South Dakota, parts of Wyoming, parts of Nebraska, parts of Colorado. Other than that, most of our country, okay, got this pretty wicked dose of radiation. Now, again, I think that before they get pulling this type of crap on us, that we should be informed so that we could take a road trip and go somewhere else. Did you see how our entire country, look at that, lit up? Okay, the entire thing lit up because we're being.
And all that big burst down there in Texas, I'm in contact with a friend of mine. He lives in that area right there. And dude, they said they came what they're calling a microburst out of nowhere. And this was some devastating stuff, man. He's been sending me some pictures of it.
They say pseudoscience experiment. Okay, there again, look at how this happened while we're sleeping.
It's amazing it happens at the same time everywhere.
Yeah,
That
that's what I'm saying.
concentration. Oof. Brutal.
So I think you pretty much get the gist of it from that. But wow, you know, and then that when I saw that burst show down there in like around Texas, that's right where he lives, man. And then he was like it's been probably the last 48 hours. He's been hitting me with all kinds of pictures, weird pictures of like this. It showed this. He got his camera pointed north, and there's like the sunset north, due north. And it's like, what is going on? There's a bunch of craziness happening right now, man. I think the beginning is near.
Oh yeah, this Fred was one of the one who pointed that on TikTok, right, last week, and this is what they were showing, like how they are frying people in the night when we are sleeping, all right, and these whatever technology they are using to make that happen, like in a way, it shows also how it propagates on a flat realm, how these radiation disperse, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense on a globe. I mean, the way it propagates shows it has to.
No, it really
through
it doesn't
plasma.
make any sense to have any of these mechanisms to curve around, and some of them the radar even comes back at the curve. That's crazy. That's just that's why they teach us this stuff when we're kids to solidify that ball in our mind, and we can't get around it anymore.
Man, in all my years, I've never heard of Aurora Borealis in the South. I mean, maybe I'm just ignorant of it, but I had never heard of that before. And now they're saying that that's why people in Australia and stuff were seeing it.
I just want to know
It's
why
Australis. It's Australis. Aurora Australis is
Australis,
seen
yeah.
in south, and it's more dispersed. The difference is in the North Pole is accumulation and much more stronger because of the electrons that are forming are concentrated at the North Pole. But in the southern and in our flat Earth, it's more around is south, so it's more dispersed. And they even say that there's a color difference.
I got purple and green right now, guys. This is the satellite image right here.
You had green, right? Before the green are the real colors.
Yeah, I put the purple in. Thought it looked cool.
Because I'm reading what they say about the aurora. They say depending on the altitude, the gas, oxygen, or hydrogen, and the energy of the collisions of light, either green, red, or violet. While some aurora may appear pink or white, this is usually due to low light perception or camera color bias. That could be why you saw it with your one camera and your phone and the other not, because the camera bias, color bias in the sensor.
Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it's between oxygen and nitrogen.
Oh yeah, even if it was reaching these distances, it's a long distance, and it's not also possible on a globe. Like they would love to say that aurora borealis covering the globe around from the top some way because of the electromagnetic fields of the Earth or the ionosphere, right? But no way that it
where's
could be
the
seen
curve?
so far.
Yeah, where's the curve now? If you think about it with a globe, I've got a ball here. Think about it, okay? It's supposed to be here. Let's say this is the Antarctic. You're here. You're not supposed to see what's happening here on a ball.
Really? And vice versa.
Yeah.
People past the equator can see the North Star.
Mm-hmm.
How's
I mean,
that
they're always
possible?
fighting. They're always fighting for, why people in the south don't see Polaris, but now you can see the aurora. Okay.
Refraction.
A lot of double speak and gaslighting involved with the globe belief religion. And it is a religion because it works just like a religion. It's got its priests, it's got its saints, everything, man. And their icons, you've got all your Their saints would be Copernicus and Newton and Galileo. Yeah. All these people, that's their saints. And then their priests, of course, are Neil deGrasse Tyson, Brian Cox, and Carl Sagan, who will be headed for sainthood soon because he's assumed room temperature. And then you've got all these sycophants, parishioners that are just running around repeating what these clowns say. It's no different than a religion.
Look at Groovy. The aurora is way up in the sky. No shit. So is Polaris.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of that. Polaris is trillions of miles away. The aurora is much more local. So how do you get that now?
Wow. Yeah. Thinking 3D.
This is the logic you get from the Globies. This is the logic you get from them.
And then says think in 3D, guys. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. Think in 3D, guy. Crap.
Yeah, it's the story's not true, so they're gonna contradict themselves, and they're gonna need things in two different ways to really make, I guess, sense, if you want to call it sense, but it doesn't make sense because not true.
Oh yeah, Effie Nation is in the chat, brother. Come up. There's a link of StreamYard. Come and say hello and share.
Yeah, come on up, man. That would be
Effie
awesome.
Nation's awesome.
Oh yeah, does a lot of great work, bro. Put your link for your YouTube up there too, Nation. I don't know if he wants me to say his name or not.
Oh yeah, even some people were saying in US they could see it in some part of US also, right? That the distance it's impossible to happen.
As far south as the southern part of the United States.
Yeah, I heard people in Florida saw them. I forgot to ask Keith when he was here.
I'm in Florida. I didn't see them, but I heard that they seen them I heard they seen them in Tennessee, and also they were pink, like the Aurora Australia show we're speaking of. I heard that's also pink, but I've never seen any of this personally. But it's a very credible source who said they showed it from Tennessee, which is probably about 500 miles north of me. I'm in North Florida, but then again, I wasn't really looking for it, but I did glance out a couple times.
Oh yeah, this is the thing that what is the reason they are happening, right? If we see the electric sun, the gases involved, the electromagnetic fields of the earth and the luminaries, the North Pole, right? It's an electrical universe, if you want to call it, right? A holographic universe, if you want to call it. The interaction of these lights. So also, as I mentioned in other podcasts, like those so-called solar flares are nothing but the same thing. When we saw that during the eclipses, those red things coming out from the sides, it's very similar to the aurora borealis. That is always happening there at the sun, but we don't see it. But just because of the eclipses, we could see those red ones. Why the red ones? Maybe because of the different gases. Maybe because of the distances.
But that also tells me then it's not really in a vacuum like they're claiming, because the gases are getting excited. How you still can't have gases in, like coalescing inside a vacuum, so.
Nah, we were just talking before about how, like, what's the formula for helium and hydrogen to form with each other to create gravity by itself? And then it's got to turn into a nuclear furnace that creates a full spectrum of light traveling through a vacuum. The whole thing is just, when you break it down, it's kind of cool. It's because it's crazy.
Yeah, the whole globe was it's based on faith. It's a nonsensical belief system. And the people are so indoctrinated to it, they fight tooth and nail for it.
This is why they get so upset. This is why they get to the point where, like, I watch some of these guys, man. Who's that guy, PhD Tony? He looks like he's ready to burst a blood vessel at any moment. Craig damn near had a heart attack trying to talk to Witsit before. That's why Witsit wouldn't debate him anymore. Toon, he just starts sweating profusely. I mean, these people, and there's always something wrong with them, man. Some kind of weird shit about them. Every one of them. You got T-Jump comes on with his black fingernail polish and a half a haircut. They all got their own little gimmick. Craig with his little pointy turd dollop hairdo. Wow. What is wrong with this? I think it causes insanity.
Oh, there's some more on TikTok. Go ahead, Gene.
That's he's describing heliopsychosis.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good name. I like it. Heliopsychosis. I love it. Yes.
Oh yeah, this is the reason. I don't know if you guys saw my debate with McToon.
I did.
But I don't know why McToon always has to be so childish. He always wants to also be like a narcissist.
You did great, bro.
People how to do things. Yeah, you did awesome, Vikka.
Go put your nose in the corner, Flatzoid. I was like, wow, that's a grown man talking to another grown man. Think that, man.
He wasn't happy. You did a good job, Vikka. Very good job,
Thanks.
man. He wasn't happy when I was debating. I thought he was going to be cordial when I debated him. So I started off, trying to be nice, and he gave me a trick question right at the beginning. So like halfway through, I took off the gloves, and he didn't like it, man. I pinned him down with the I hope people who was watching it didn't stop watching it at the beginning, because like after about the halfway point, I was like, if you're gonna act like this, then the gloves are off. And I pinned him down where he admitted that in his challenge we can't use the AE map after all that ragging he does about the Gleason's map and all that, but for his challenge he won't let us use it because we've already done it with the Gleason. We've already solved his celestial navigation challenge with the Gleason's map. He says, no, that's a globe, you can't use it. It's like, whatever, bro. Then he says with the spherical exit hold on, bro. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I could easily say the globe is a projection of the AE map. That was around way before the globe, even Al Bruni a flat map. But check this out. But with the spherical excess, he's sitting there talking about these corrections, because I pulled up a clip from his debate with Ryan a while back, and he's claiming that that on a flat Earth it would have to be 180, and but he says that all the measurements are above 180. And from your discussion with Andrew Johnson, Flatzoid, I pulled up where the measurements were less than 180, and I try to get him to explain, what is the error, because you're claiming no refraction. He's like, it's just a fix. He wouldn't admit it, dude. So I wound up pinning him down with a few different subjects at the end. But Vikka, you did a great job against him, bro. I enjoyed that debate.
Oh, yeah, thanks, brother. Oh yeah, as I said, these people really don't have a lot. When you really show them some real science, it's like so nothing like that. Epi Nation, brother, how are you? Finally, we have you here. How are you?
Hey, Vikka, how are you doing?
Great, brother. How are you?
Good. What's up, Dave?
What's happening, man?
What's going on, man? Flattoberfest, man. It was the first time we met. Doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing
awesome.
Great. Doing great. Mojo came by here and stayed a few days.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. We had a little time here. It was all right. I was just wondering, how come there's no world maps that include Antarctica?
Other than the Gleason map?
Yeah, it shows every other continent, but you never see Antarctica. We never see an AE projection taken from the south for the people in the south to use. After all, wouldn't that be beneficial if there was an AE?
Yeah, if we could only go, man, it's time to get 1,000 boats together and say we're going. Tell them. What are they going to do?
Blow you out of the water.
I'm sure there's.
Well, let's.
I'm sure we could make it.
Let's put it this way: if you're an ant and you walk onto a soccer field, are you going to be able to see everything?
No.
No.
Well,
Like
Terry,
I
You
said,
go to
it's
Antarctica, what you gonna do? And you see everything.
Terry
right.
Eicher put out a great video today that was from the actually showing all the stuff of Bird when they went into the interior of Antarctica, found temperate water, mountains of freaking coal and other resources and shit. It's on video, and they really tried to
Right.
bring this out. This is what's really interesting. If you notice around that time that they were getting NASA geared up, they started putting out a lot of B-grade Hollywood movies of space travel, right?
Yeah.
All these sci-fi movies and shit like that. But there was one that came out, and it was really interesting. It was called The Unknown Land, and I have it. It's on the archive.com. You can find this. And what it is these people they're going on an expedition following after Admiral Byrd. Okay. And what it is, they got, because a lot of people don't know, they packed warm weather gear on Operation High Jump. And in this movie, they did too. And the thing is they went further into Antarctica and they found this area that was prehistoric and tropical and all this other. And you never heard nothing about this movie. But I showed it and I was like, that's really interesting. And then the whole movie paradigm shift from that to don't look there, look up, go to space, go to other planets and stuff. See?
Right.
And wanted to shut that
Yeah,
down right away.
they
This
said
is really yeah.
they said that the first or second time they went, they mapped 2,000 miles of Antarctica's sunset coast. I'm like, what? They said there's no ice. I posted a short video a while back, and Admiral Byrd said that they hunkered down, and they specifically said that they all had to get out before the sunless months of the Antarctica winter begins. And I was thinking, if I picture a AE map or that style, the further you get away from the Tropic of Capricorn, it would be a lot longer in darkness. But they specifically said 9 months of the sunless Antarctica winter.
Oh.
That's crazy. Hey, Gene, what's
cool.
going on, man? Been a minute.
How you doing,
Yeah,
brother?
good, man.
Good
Since
to see you, man. Glad you made it up, bro.
the great debate, and then the roof caves in a month later. That's funny.
Ain't that some shit? Yeah. I thought
Yeah, that's crazy.
We
Wasn't
met in December at
Whitsitt
the pasture debate in Tennessee. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Isn't Whitsitt supposed to debate Greg Locke? I had heard something about that.
Greg Lott's done, man.
Yeah.
No, well,
hey, when I was there live. Gene knows his people were coming out saying, "I'm never going to come back here again."
Yeah.
Wow.
I was listening to him. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Man, they had the armed guards out there. It's like they had the AR-15s and stuff. It was funny, man. It's like nobody. Yeah, it was funny, and nobody's there to. We're here to debate you, not and watch the debate. And it was great, man. I tell you what, he got destroyed.
Yeah. Well,
Dean destroyed him, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, but see,
And he
Greg
got
Locke-
mad.
Greg Locke couldn't even keep to his own. He was trying to say, okay, we're going to do scripture, and he couldn't even do scripture. Like,
yeah, look,
It
the verse
was
like 5 to 40 or something like that.
The mobile that everybody gonna see Jesus through the mobile. That was
That's right.
yeah, just put your Apple Vision Pro, guys, then you'll see Jesus. Come on.
Hey, God works in mysterious ways, man. And he showed him that he was going on the wrong path.
I mean, he just had to bring up Genesis and he would have nothing. So
it is as is. What can we do about it?
But
So what's up, Flatzoid?
Oh,
How you doing, man?
Great, and yourself?
Oh, great. Just it's been a long path. But did y'all see my video? Like I said, the reason I chimed in is because it was talking about the Borealis, and man, I was doing a live show because that's what I do sometime now. I'm starting to do that. I had 350 something people watching, right? Had 350 something people. And it was basically my day 3 of my experiment. I'm watching the moon, of course. You see that. Take pictures of it all the time. Well, I'm looking for, as they say, stars shining through the moon. Okay? And I was filming it live, and we seen none. I seen one go behind it, and I seen one come behind on the bottom side of it. And I was, like I said, 350 people was watching, and I was watching one of Mikey Horizontal approved. I was watching one of his videos, and he's got Mars. Okay, it's only one thing. It's either if you see a star in front of the moon, that destroys their thing.
But were you
And
able to
he's got Mars, and he's got Mars, a picture of Mars in front of the moon during one of its conjunctions.
Which would be impossible.
And if that is the case, that destroys everything of what they're saying. I'm just saying we probably need to check that out.
Yeah, then all
because
the out of whack.
Because you can't see stars through it. I proved that the other day, and I'm going to do it again.
Bro, can you
if I'm looking for one in front of it, if I get one in front of it, that destroys everything that they talk about.
I've shared it in my community post. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
and
you see what I'm saying?
FE Nation, brother, there are people also on TikTok who try to record the stars behind the moon. You know what was the only way they could? With the welding glasses, use as a filter.
No, I using raw P900, brother.
But but he got it, brother. He got it. He sent me some images.
It's been reported by the Royal Observatory before.
No, I'm telling you, you cannot see him through it. I recorded one the other day, and it disappeared. And I got another video of it too. It's on the dark side. It disappears. I got a video of it.
Try photographing it, brother. And
no, I was filming it live, and you could see it. You could see the star until it disappeared, and it went on the dark side of the moon. I mean, it did not see through it.
Oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I got video of it. You need to watch it.
I feel, brother, for sure. But we are open for everything, right? Who knows? Maybe with different filters. Maybe it's fine. I'm not saying it should be visible, right? Maybe
if you're seeing it, it's in front of it, not behind it. And that destroys
how we're gonna see it in the front of the moon, the stars, right? I'm not saying.
Well, because they're close. They're not. That proves that they're not millions of miles away, like they say.
Well, if you look at it this way, I mean, if you looked at high altitude balloons, they get to a certain altitude and all the stars just vanish.
Exactly, because they are in upper layer.
Sky gets black.
I mean, even if they try do long exposure, they still can't pick it up. It's just gone.
With the look with the stars in front of the moon or whatever. It only takes one. I heard that the Royal Astronomy has reported it, but I know there's a lot of flags with showing like a crescent moon with stars in the.
No, that's just the spots, man. Yeah, if you can send me a picture, go to my and I got it's Carl Fletcher at 46@gmail.com. Send me a picture of it, and I'll line it up with and I'll show you that it's a spot that's on the moon that's lit up. And if it's not, it's in front of the moon, not behind it.
Yeah.
So if it's in front of it, if you see a star in front of the moon, that blows their shit out of the water too.
We can get proof of that. Also behind the moon, brother. So I'm with you on that. But like I said, but I've only watched it. I've only did it for a few hours. It would only take one to tear down their system, right?
Yeah, and I think Mikey's got that for sure. He's got Mars, and it shows in his picture that he's got of when he was filming it. It shows Mars is lit up, right? We know it's a bright light. It was showing a spot lit up where it was really close to the moon. It was like showing its light, and it was reflecting off the moon.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to look at that. I'm telling you, because if that's the case, man, Mars ain't millions of miles away. That blows everything out the water.
Sure.
What's the name of your channel?
Mine's FE Nation. That's
FB
what it
Nation.
is.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
man, I
apologize
film
for
everything in the
not knowing.
sky, bro.
Carl, put a link up on the chat, bro.
Oh
if you
well,
can.
I'm in. I don't know if I can share on because I'm on my phone, and I already
Alright,
did. I put a
okay.
link on there. I sent several videos, and y'all seen the Borealis. And like I said, when I was filming, I was taking pictures of the moon that day. I was doing it live. I had 300 people watching me right here, and
Yeah.
when I was filming it,
Nice.
I seen with my own naked eyes the sky started to turn pink with my own naked eyes, and I'm like, look at it, y'all can see it, and I'm showing everybody on my camera on my phone.
Yeah, I
So
saw
I
that,
snap
bro.
a picture. I snap a picture of it. Y'all seen it? Yeah,
Dr.
and man, it was crazy, and that wave went across. You can see, I put a couple pictures in there, but I was taking pictures of the moon too, so I threw that in there. But yeah, when it happened, I was doing it live, and I seen it go down. It was the craziest thing that I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, can I ask you a
And I
question
got
about that?
pictures to prove it. I got pictures to prove it. So
How close did it
go
come
ahead.
to? How close did it come to overhead? Like about what's the best angle you had to it? You know,
Dude,
not exactly.
it went over my head and continued south.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
I'm
It
just south of
traveled.
you.
It was like a wave, and it was weird. And then I was looking north, and it was glowing like a pink color. But because I'm right here on 40, okay, right beside 40, and the road runs east to west right here, right, and dude, it came over 40 and just continued south. I'm sitting here watching it.
Wow.
It was the craziest thing. And like I said, I had 300 people watch me. I'll kind of
Yeah,
watch my language.
Carl, Dr. Frankenstein was up there. He watches your stuff. He's here tonight. He's here all the time too. He loves your stuff, bro. So he's saying hello. He
Hey,
sent me the link, but I didn't get this. I didn't get the live. I saw it a couple hours after that. But bro, I got a question for you. Do you see the moon's terminator line move through the night?
well, it all depends. I mean, I take daytime pictures of it, and then I'll
Either
take the
way,
night.
yeah. Either way,
And
it needs
yeah,
to-
and it seems
yeah.
like to me it's moving just a little bit. Depends on the angle you're at, I guess I would say. You know, that's the whole thing. And I don't think it's more than 30 miles up, just like the sun. And man, I can show you. I was trying to show him down at Flatstock with a light source. A light source will never cast a shadow on itself, ever, right? If you got a light source, it won't cast a shadow on itself because the light's emanating out.
So
Okay. And on the
so
moon, we see shadows.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah, when I
Epination, brother.
caught that
Forever.
William,
I beg to disagree because I've seen actual textured lamp globes that you can buy, that even today you can buy these textured lamp globes that look like the moon and have the little craters and shit on them, and it's lit up from the inside.
Yeah, but
that's
that's the lights on the inside. It's light on the inside, brother. And I'm telling you, wherever the sun angle is and the light, because they're on the same plane, except sometimes the moon is higher than the sun. That's why you see them like that. And that's why that light from the sun lights up that bottom part, because it's higher. And then as it goes around, if you can see my hands, and then eventually it goes. And then when you see, here's another thing too, when you see a full moon at night and the sun's way beyond the horizon and on the other side, and they're saying that no, that works because they're at the same height, and that light from the sun is lighting it up. That's one of the biggest probably lies that they tell you. Enoch talked about it. The sun, because they're on the same plane, on the same height, there ain't less atmosphere in the sky. right? Everything gets a lot clearer up there, right? Now, sometimes even in a plane, you can see clouds above the plane
Right.
when you're up at full height.
The problem with it is
Right.
that spherical objects do not reflect light that way.
Well,
They have a
I'm just
specular
telling you,
highlight.
man,
There's a
that's the only
specular-
way it works,
Look,
and it works.
on
It
a
works
ball.
better on a.
Well, listen,
It works better on a flat
on
plane because that light is shining across to it, and it all
Right.
depends on where it's at. It could be over here, it could be over here, and when it follows it, and then as it's turning, it turns a little bit more, and it's following it, and it only works. That sun is lighting it up,
Okay. So what I'm saying is on a spherical
and that's
object.
why, because they're always at the same height.
Hey,
Okay, so on
can
a
you hear
spherical-
Dave, bro?
Yeah.
FE Nation, hey, FE Nation, brother, you are on my messenger chat group, right? Vikka
Yeah.
podcast. So I just sent there in that chat. I just sent you an image of the moon with a welding glasses filter and Flatzoid. I also
Oh,
sent
I got
to
a.
you,
Hey, I got a welding glass filter,
and I
and you know
sent you on
what?
the email. I just sent you an email also, Flatzoid. Check that image.
Awesome. Yeah.
Uh,
Can check it out.
Well, I can't check it right now because I'm right here on this. So I'm talking to y'all right
there
now,
we go.
Vikka.
Exactly.
But I will
Wow.
look at it. But let me tell you something. When my friend Valley Park, she had an accident, and we was supposed to meet and go to the totality area, and she was driving back. She was outside of Oklahoma City, and I flew down there to get her because she hurt herself, and I helped her drive 700 miles. And then I had to get my car because I flew to and I left that same day, and it was crazy. I got a free beer on American Airlines, and I only got the ticket for $92, and everybody else wanted like $700 or something. It was stupid, but I got it for $92 through Booking.com. But anyway, so yeah, check them out. They're really cheap.
Wow.
check
But-
this, guys. Check this
Listen.
out, FE Nation. Check it out.
Okay,
FE
I'm
Nation,
watching.
Look at those stars. You can zoom in
Uh-huh.
if you want. There's just one of the images. This guy is dedicated to this. I think he's from Cyprus. You can see the
Uh-huh.
stars literally. It looks like, as you say, it looks like in front of
Yeah.
but maybe it's behind. But maybe it's
No,
behind.
they're in front, brother. They're
Check it
in
out.
front. I'm telling you, they're in front. They're in front,
What do you-
man.
What do you think, Flatzoid?
Well,
They're
if I
in
look
front
at
of
the luminosity,
It destroys their thing if you think they're. I know they're in front.
What Flatzoid?
If I
Look
look
like
at
they're
the
inside of it.
luminosity, they look the same. They look the same, so it tells me they would be in front though. Because if it was behind, maybe the luminosity of those two would be a bit less than that one.
Have you explored
Exactly. There you go, Flatzoid. You're on it.
Have you explored the possibility of translucence? That's what I'm thinking. Because
But I mean,
I'm looking at this thing and it seems to behave more like a projection than an actual object. You know, almost like I think both of them are actually projected, the sun and the moon. But I mean, it has this translucence to it. And here's what's so odd. Have you ever witnessed during the time when there's a new moon, a dark circle in the sky that's blocking out the other stars or anything? I never have. I mean,
No, we
it's
should
like
though.
in there. You should be able to
Dave,
see
check
that.
this out.
Of about
That if
Check
the
this
moon
out,
is
Dave.
and moon's always
period
out
of
near
about
stars
40 hours. There's a period of about 40 hours where the moon's not detectable at all.
because it's close to the sun. You can't see
I
it
caught the
through the
Silurian,
atmosphere.
man, in Florida, man. About a year and a half ago. I think it was the 22 eclipse. So I put it on my channel. But as I was pissed off because the moon was about 4 or 5 degrees above the horizon, way above, but the sun, I had to wait on it to come up. You know, so I filmed it a couple times, and there was a cloud deck on the horizon. So I had to wait for the sun to come up above the horizon. Then I had to wait for it to come up above the cloud deck. I didn't have a solar filter, but as soon as it started peeking its head up above the cloud deck, I filmed it again and showed them, and I was only about 20, 25 foot above sea level. And I turned around and showed the sun, and it was daylight. in the whole sky. I was excited because the moon was so high and it just got fully eclipsed. I was thinking I had plenty of time to get the sun well above the horizon, but the moon literally disappeared. Like I had to zoom in to even film it to see the eclipsed moon about at least probably about say 4 degrees above the horizon. So how could that even happen and line up with the geometry? How could a shadowed moon? Wouldn't we see the shadow in the sky if it was the Earth causing the shadow? How could a eclipsed moon disappear in daylight? But that's exactly what happened. I'll post this video here shortly, but I caught it myself, man.
Oh yeah, we are here to learn, right? So affination
Yeah.
and this, right? If it's like this, that if the star is before the moon, that in itself is needs to be researched, right? It opens other rabbit holes, brother. All right. Only
No, yes.
getting these stars in front or back of the moon already itself is a
Debunks
progress.
already the globe. Yeah.
They're in front of the moon, brother. I'm
Oh, they're there.
telling you,
Yeah,
if you're getting it,
how,
it's in front of the moon, period.
but yeah, that's
Well,
what I mean.
Because
But it opens a lot of new rabbit hole. Like, what is the star in itself to be in front of the moon, right?
mhm.
And the distances these guys are speaking, right? So how is it working, the stars?
it's not working for them. That just proves what they're saying. They're saying they're millions of miles away, and we got proof that they're in front of the moon. That destroys their paradigm right there. Period.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
that's just one of the photos of hundreds that guy have. Hundreds.
Well, yeah, I got hundreds too. And I've been watching live on it the other day, Vikka, and I promise you that star was not being seen through the moon. I filmed it. I don't know what he's got. I have to look at it and see if I get the same thing that he's getting, because my peanut hunter is raw. I don't go and edit anything. I put it on the Clip Champ, but it doesn't edit what I've got. I still got all that before it goes to Clip Champ. I got all that proof that I need. There's no star. If you're seeing a star in front of the moon, that means they're close and not far away, not millions of miles. And the sun lights up that moon. I'm going to tell you, the sun lights up the moon. When the sun is to the west of me and the moon's to the east, it lights up that side. When the sun is to the east and the moon's to the west, it lights up that side. It only happens on a flat plane. It can't be on the other side. And that's another thing that destroys them, because they're the same in the same. I don't know how it works yet. I think I got kind of a model. Actually, I was trying to show them down at Flatstock, like I was saying, but that sun is shining and lighting up that moon, man. I'm telling you, that's the way it is. And they're the same height above us, and they're going around a plane. They're on and that's why even the flat Earth model that we have, that's what they show. The sun and the moon, same plane. That light, atmospheric conditions up there are like zero. Its visibility is forever. Okay, and that light, like in a dark room, is lighting it up.
So that's
the way it is. Everybody else is saying this, that the moon's its own light. It's not. I promise you, it's not.
How would it not be a full moon all the time if it's lit up from the
Well,
same
because
plane?
it's because of where it's at and its angle.
Well,
Like I
that's a
said,
personal thing
like
then,
the
right?
moon the other day, if you looked at Solarian, the moon was way above the sun, and the light on the moon proved that.
What's going
This
on?
moon was higher. Okay, here's what happens when and people might think I'm crazy, but check this out. When the moon and the sun get over water, they get closer. Because they're dielectric, they repel and everything. And then when they get to the land, they rise. The moon is like, I'm pretty sure it's a solid object that I can tell. I don't see it as a projection. There's no way.
How is this
because I
photograph?
see shadows and stuff on it, man.
Holy shit.
And they, like I said, I see shadows in the craters. I see shadows on what I consider a mountain ranges. You can see it. It's crazy.
Well,
And the
So,
only thing that casts shadows like that, look from a plane on the ground, and you'll see the same thing.
how do the
You see
colors?
shadows from the sun shining on it.
so how is this photograph taken?
I don't know.
I mean, there's a full moon and the sun's like right there by it.
Yeah, and this is facing us.
That right there is not a real photo. You need to recheck that.
Thailand.
That ain't happening.
I ran across, but what I
Yeah,
was
you
gonna
need to
say- hold on.
you need to look at that. You need to check
All
that out.
All right. So I also want to put this out to you too. One day I was messing around and I had this little LED light and I put it in this alligator clip, and I had a magnifying glass was stuck to the little apparatus. I've got it sitting over here on the counter, and I projected it. I looked and it was projecting the LED onto the wall, and I looked at it and I was like, "Holy crap, man! That thing actually looks like a three-dimensional sphere on my wall." It was crazy. It really did. It looked like it. And I wanted to show it to my wife. So a little while later, she'd come home. Well, I'd hit my bong a couple times and I coughed, and I didn't realize that I got a little bit of spatter on the lens of the magnifying glass. So when I went to show it to her the next time, I looked and I had inadvertently caused little craters and shadows on my projection on the wall. And it actually looked like there was texture now to the three-dimensional object that appeared, that was clearly only two-dimensional. But because of the way that it was projected, it looked like a sphere. And it actually now had little craters and texture to it.
Yeah,
And
we were talking about that before, but shadows offering a three-dimensional appearance to things. It's a great portion of what we're looking at and how we interpret it as the shadows. Gives us a lot of our depth perception.
so
But
yeah,
I
yeah,
still,
that's the
I
thing.
still
It's
stick
like,
to we don't know what the moon is. We can
No.
make conjectures of what it could be, but
Yeah.
I've seen stars, what I would say behind the moon. But I mean, why would it be? Why would you say it cannot be behind and in front?
You're right. Different
Exactly.
ones, right? Different stars could be in front or back. It could be, band of stars that kind of go in between them. Carl, I got a question for you, bro. If it's solid, how does the moon shadows and craters and color take on the color of the sky? It's like when it's dark at night, those colors are dark, and during the day they're kind of bluish. How does that happen?
Oh, she's dropped.
We lost them.
But
Carl,
anyway,
love you, brother. Thanks for coming on, man. I hope
yeah,
you come
he's
back.
awesome.
I hope it's just a glitch, bro.
But anyway, it's like past 2 a.m. I got to get up in like 2 hours for work.
Exactly. I wanted to ask you, brother. Yeah, it's whenever you want to say goodbye, we will start wrapping it up here too, brother. Because
It's
it's your show
exciting.
tonight.
Yeah. But it's definitely got to go to bed. I don't want to sit spraying cars or like this to later.
Oh yeah, so yeah, it was a great chat, guys, to have you all here, and I think we should do sometime in the weekdays to have some open chat like this, so people can jump in and we share whatever we are researching and coming up with new things, because we all are doing that, right? Especially now, example of the
Moon.
moon, right? So
Mhm.
absolutely. Uh,
Yeah, and I mean everybody can bring in everything they need, and I think this is a good thing for Flat Earth. If everybody brings their own
There he is.
information, you can deduce from that. Definitely.
Gene, what was that again? I
Exactly.
missed that you was asking about the moon shadows and stuff.
Oh, well, the difference between the night moon and the day moon and the colors within it. They seem to take on the color of the sky in the moon. I was wondering how that works. I still
Yeah,
don't really get
well,
that.
You know, because of the shadows, because it's dark in the background on those shadows, and of course the sky is limiting your vision. You know, you can't. It's hard to see. That's why we can't see Paris from New York. You know what I'm saying, or whatever, England. You know,
Right.
so you know because of the atmosphere. Now up there, the atmosphere is different, but down here we're looking up through the atmosphere, right? That's why we see
Right.
things. I don't think the moon's that big anyway. I don't think it's as big as what they're telling us. I think it's closer and smaller. But
Right.
um but yeah, and you can't see, but I've got if you look at you go to my channel and then look up uh moon during the day. It's like one of my newest videos, and you can actually see the
All right, just a second.
the
Just a
blue,
second.
in the
Uh,
sky. You can, you know, it's different. It's crazy, but
FE
yeah, you
Nation,
can make, yes.
just a second. Flatzoid have to go because it's really late for him, and so we will let him have his last words, and we will continue a bit, and then all right.
Awesome.
Go
Thank you
ahead,
very
Yes,
much.
sir.
brother. Go ahead,
Thank you very
Flatzoid,
much for
brother.
having me on, man. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And yeah, you should do more of this actually, because getting more people's attention on certain subjects is actually very good, because not everybody agrees on everything, which is good. But yeah, Vikka, enjoyed the chat. Appreciate all you do, man. I did post your thing in the community post if you guys want to go and check it out. And he's a mechanical, what's the name? About a
The mecha
mechanical.
realm and the flatten the curve.
Yeah. So I did put that in. Guys, do go and support Vikka, definitely. And give it likes and shares, guys. Get his content out there as far as possible. Definitely well worth it. And it was good to meet you too, Gene, and the FE Nation, and Brian and Dave. Good to see you guys as well. I'm off to
Oh
bed.
yeah. Oh yeah, brother. Thanks for being here, and same goes to you, brother. The link is there in the description too for everybody there. So follow and support him too, and keep doing, brother. And good luck for the debates. And yeah, you gave a new idea that we should sometime in the weekdays at least we could do some get-togethers like this, where everybody can join in and share their new findings. Right? That's what we all
Yeah.
are here for. Thanks for being here, brother. Absolutely a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks, Flatzoid. Great to have you,
Cheers,
brother.
guys. Blessings.
Welcome
Thanks,
back
Flatzoid.
anytime,
Nice to
man.
meet you.
You too, bro.
Much love,
Cheers.
brother. Be good.
All right, go ahead, brother. FE Nation, sorry.
You know, I don't even know where to start, Vic. I mean, you know, it's my thing. Like I said, we need to look at if what you're seeing is stars in front of the moon. That destroys it. The sun, because the moon and the sun are the same height, and everybody thinks that the moon's lighting up itself. I don't think that that's the fact. I think it's the sun. And if it is the sun, that means that if it's on the other side of the ball and you got a full moon and the sun's not shining its light directly on it, that means the moon's. But if that sun is shining its light on it, that means it's flat. It's the only way it works. And I'm pretty sure it's the moon is getting lit up by the sun. And that's the way I look at it. I mean, that's what I see. I mean, and it all depends. Like I said, when it goes over the water, I think they get closer. They're charging or whatever they're doing. I don't know. The sun is charging. The moon is a whole different story. But I think it's like one of those. It's like because it's cold. The higher you get, the colder it gets. Right? It should get warmer because you're getting closer to the sun. There is no atmosphere up there, so to say. Clouds and everything is what makes the heat vibrate. That, you know, the moisture in the atmosphere, or moisture hangs low. Everything up high is dry. Stars, just magnetic balls of light. That's what I see. I don't see anything more than that. And they vibrate with the earth sound. That's why they hear that strange sound all the time. Wah, wah, in all different locations.
Yeah.
That's the earth is that's its signal. Think about it. Ooh, that vibration. Sometimes it's louder here or there. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that's the way I look at it. I mean, but I think that the moon is some size, definitely not a projection. I don't think it looks like a solid object. Sun shines off of it. There's shadows, whether it be in the craters or the what looks like mountaintops. But I think the Earth is negative, and I think it's a negative thing too. And it's just doing its little circle. And then everybody talks about the craters. Now I've been doing a little bit of research on the craters. On Earth, that is. And I think that every now and again, it's like right now, our magnetism is fluctuating so bad that, and the moon, I don't think it's any more than maybe 2 miles wide, maybe 2 miles wide. I don't think it's any bigger than that. And I think when it falls, because of the loss of the magnetism, that's what happens. What they call, it took out the dinosaurs. And wherever it falls at, it creates that crater that they talk about because the magnetism goes away. And then because somewhere I heard about, there was people that talked about the moon not even being seen, right? There was no moon. I can't remember. Somebody was talking about that. Read about
brother, it's a difficult one, brother, to as all being luminaries and being light phenomena and orbs, it's a very difficult one to think that it's a solid object. We are open for everything. This is what we are for. If we are not ready or open-minded for change, we are not using it, right? So that's
right. I got
that's
you.
the
Well,
thing.
my P900 is not designed to take pictures of anything at 238,000 miles away, regardless of 93 million miles away.
That's
and
for
when
sure.
I zoom
That's
in on
for
them,
sure.
and when I zoom in on them with my camera, I can zoom past them, and I have to bring it back to get it back into the picture. Why is that?
Nice. You need to get also on TikTok, my brother. Also, you need to go and start doing some
Yeah. Then I have to do with their fake stuff. I ain't doing that.
with how do you say group experiments, right? Because that's the thing we are doing. One of our guests before was there on the panel, Hugo Boss. He was doing that, and we were helping him in live in doing that observation. So that's what it's all about. The moon with the stars that we shared just now, and the one I shared, is also done with a group effort, right? So we all can understand and give our inputs of what could it be or what it could not be, right? So that image we shared about the moon with the stars behind or in the front, that's an anomaly that's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I think the biggest thing I've got about with it actually being some kind of a sphere reflecting back sunlight is because you can't get a sphere to illuminate it that way from a single light source. There's no possible way. You will have a specular highlight and it will fade off to the edges of this object.
You get the sine wave also.
Yeah, that's right. Now, another thing too, you know what would behave that way is something concave. Something concave would indeed reflect light back that way. And something concave can also give the illusion of convexity as well. So that's an interesting way to look at it. But the thing is, the way the light behaves when it's full is you would see definitely on a spherical object reflecting back light, you would have that bright spot and it would fades back toward the edges and you don't really see it. We see the thing completely right to the edge, like lit, like a sign. So
well, here's something interesting, guys. About a year and a half ago, we had Vikka was in Spain. I'm in New York. we had a guy in California which spanned about 5,000 miles, I think it was altogether, and we all saw the same moon, different heights, you know, different angles of where we were. You know, like to me, it was up in the west a little. The guy in California, it was off to the east a little. So we triangulated like that. Vikka saw it was on his horizon, but it was all the same moon. It was all, you know, like like one of the last quarters. It's kind of weird, you know. I think we'd all see a different angle if.
Yeah, no parallax. There's like no
yeah,
parallax.
no.
It's always the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
because
right.
everything's closer than what they're telling us as far as land. Think about it. Between you drive in two cities, okay, and there's nothing in between it. Just country. You know about that. Everybody does. You know, there's nothing there. But them highways say, oh, it's running east and west. But when you look at it, and it zigzags up and down and crazy, and you go, you know, you can go miles, but and it has to do something with. It's just like when I flew to Flattoberfest. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, man. I got a picture of, and I was hunting this picture when I was in the plane. These mountains looked like they was an eighth of an inch tall. Okay, two peaks, and so I took P900 and I zoomed in on them, and I got pictures up there in the plane. It's flat. I know, flat horizon. It don't matter how far. And I had my infrared going, right? And I got these two peaks. Well, I was like, where are these two peaks at? So I searched and they got this thing called Peak Finder, right? And I put them in this Peak Finder and I send it out to Zach, Good Times for All. And I send it out to a couple other people. And then me and Valley Parks, we was researching everything. Where's these peaks at? We was at peaks at. And that Peak Finder said it was in the Swiss Alps. Okay. And I flew out of Nashville. And when we took off, I'm like, why are we flying northwest for? From Nashville to Vegas should be southwest, right? Kind of more. But no, we was flying northwest. And some of the terrain was up there. And it was still, even at that height, and I don't know, it was crazy looking. But the flat horizon, of course, you know, and I got pictures of it. And I got this one picture that I just recently started looking at. And
But do
it
you know
just
the
seems.
distance? FP Nation, do you know the distance? Do you know the approx distance from what you're speaking about, that route to the
I don't
Alps?
know.
That's
Well,
more than
it was a.
5,000 miles.
Hey, look, man. I'm telling you, and I'll send you a picture of it. You can put it in Peak Finder, and that's what it's showing. It's crazy, but
Holy.
yeah, I think it's. I got it. I got a picture on my YouTube, I think, or if not, I can send it. But yeah, the Peak Finder says it was the Alps. And I even did a show on No Sphere with Zach and Josh and Walt about it.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody
Shout
could
out
prove
to
me
them.
wrong.
Shout out to IRM. I said shout
Yeah,
out to
Unreal
IRM.
Media. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, I sent that picture directly to Zach, and I was like, man, check this out. And it was like from Nashville to Vegas was a 3-hour flight, and I was like not even an hour and a half or so into the flight, because we was flying northwest, and then we made a slight turn to the southwest. It's like, why should we even do that? We're going the Great Circle route. Or did we go to the trade winds? Because yeah, when we was up there, I remember we went a little higher, and we hit some turbo. The ground was moving faster. Well, the clouds were anyway. You tell the difference. But I don't know. Weird stuff, man. I'm just saying. Like I said, I take pictures and document everything. It's just like, just like the Borealis that came through the other day. I was doing a live, had 350 people watching with me, and I'm like, and the whole sky started turning pink in front of me. Like, what the hell's going on? So I snapped those pictures. So yeah, and then I seen it go past me. So anyway,
Nice.
meanwhile, back to camp. I'm sorry.
I said, yeah, awesome, brother. We have to keep our eyes on doing things and doing experiments and observations, right, on a daily basis, right, and especially these kind of events.
I document everything, man. Anytime they say there's a conjunction, because, like I said, if I get the star in front of the moon, it's over with. But if somebody else is catching it, it's something we got to look into because, like I said, he's got that picture of Mars during that conjunction, and the moon's like halfway lit, and I know it's reflecting light off the surface of the moon because it's so close to it. If that's the case, and you can see it where it lights it up, and it's his picture shows it, man. If that's the case, they're done. I'm just saying.
Again,
That destroys everything. That destroys everything, man. Mars is supposed to be millions of miles away. And if it's in front of the moon, it's over with. Mike B. Smith, horizontal approved. Yeah, look it up, man. I was looking at it the other day, and it's like, okay, dude, because we was talking about it, it's like you can't see stars through the moon. Well, here's one right here. See how it's lighting up the front side of the moon? Well, that tells me it's in front of it, not behind it.
Oh yeah, we have
because it's lighting up the part of the lit side of the moon. The part that's lit, that's where that light from Mars is, in his picture, is lighting up that area of the lit side of the moon. So that means it's in front. That's the way it is.
Oh yeah, so I shared that image. We don't hear you, Sovereign. You're muted.
I said I'm not convinced that it's in front. I'm not convinced that it's in front, and I'll tell you why. Because that's I don't have enough proof of that. I really don't. It could be. It's possible that it is, but it's. I don't know. I still think that there's a translucence going on here. The moon does not behave as like a ball or even like a solid object. It appears that way, but it has almost like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I'm not saying that it's a holograph or a hologram, but it does have holographic features to it. It does.
A hologram's not going to show anything in the dark. If it's dark side, it's not going to show.
Interrupting me, please. Can I really do that? I know it doesn't go along with what you want to believe, FE Nation, that you're convinced of one thing. I'm not, and you're just going to have to accept that.
But we have to be open, guys. We have to be open because I'm open with that. This could be behind the moon or in front of the moon, but I would lean more behind. Right, that's why I shared the image, but I'm open. Right, did you see that image? Did I share, Sovereign? Did Flatzoid send to you, or you want me to send a good clear one so you can see well? I can send you also.
You can do that. You got my email? Hold on, let me
put it in the private chat. You can put it. Yeah, but this is the thing, but FE Nation, we have to be open for everything. The important is that we are seeing stars behind or in the front. It shouldn't be seen. Right there, we have to go. Right? Maybe maybe in the future a bit we will know exactly, because we need more people picking on this, picking our brains, each other's brain on this, so we can come to a, not a conclusion, but more solid
There's
idea, right?
even the people from, you know, that believe in the heliocentric nonsense. A lot of the top people, I've heard it said that by all visual reference and everything that it is, it shouldn't exist. I mean, that they've literally said that by all observation, it shouldn't even exist. And I'm with you on that one, FE Nation. There's no way your camera's designed to zoom in that far. I mean, that's why they had to build these big ass telescopes and everything. And you mean to tell me you're carrying that just in a little thing? No way. So it's definitely something close. It's definitely close enough for us to discern detail with our naked eye. And you certainly cannot discern that kind of detail at something 238,000 miles away. That's just not possible. You're just due to angular resolution. So it's something much closer. Another thing that's odd about it too is the fact that, like I've said, you never see like this dark circle in the sky blotting out the stars during a new moon. You just see it when it starts to come back. There it is. Then it starts to be there. And it's like, it almost has projective type qualities about it. I've even looked at the idea of like how a projection, if you ever, we're all old enough. Do you remember being in school and they showed actual real movies, you know, like on a reel with a projector on the screen in the classroom? I'm old enough to remember that. And one of the biggest bummers of it was that when somebody came into the classroom, a lot of times the open door, the light from that open door, but just that would obliterate the image on the screen.
Sure.
You'd still be able to faintly see it, but you wouldn't see the whole thing. And part of it would be completely obscured by the light. And I think of it like that there's some kind of a shadowing effect in that respect, that the projection not being so much a shadow, but an obstruction of the projection itself. I mean, it just doesn't behave like a spherical object, especially when it comes to light.
Right, especially the full moon.
Yeah,
Full
that's
moon
what I'm
doesn't look
saying.
like a sphere at all. There's nothing
No.
that doesn't suggest it in any way to me at all.
I just sent you, Sovereign, on your email. I just sent you an email. And this is the thing, the way the shadow falls, FE Nation brother, you saw that I was in the debate with Maktoon, especially speaking about this, the shape of the moon not being a sphere, especially the way the shadow moves on the moon during the eclipses. You see the way the shadow moves? It doesn't make that sine wave. It doesn't make that sine wave. It's like a disc over a disc. It's almost like a disc over a disc, brother.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is crazy. But last year during the eclipse, there was one last year, right? When I was filming that, and I was in Bristol, Tennessee, right? And it got cloudy on me. And I got two pictures, or one picture actually out of the many that I took. I got one picture that I don't know, shows craters. They're faint, but you can see them. It's on my channel. Look it up. And that was the eclipse last year. So, and like I said, where I filmed this one this year on April 8th. I was in Oklahoma. I was just probably about 70 miles west of Oklahoma City, and I took a bunch of pictures of it then. But man, they were. I ain't gonna say it. You know what they do to the sky? They were literally, the planes were turning towards the sun. Me and Valley Parks was sitting there watching it as we was driving. It was the craziest thing. They'd come in, it'd start, and they just right in front of it. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Many of them. We probably watched 30 do it
There's a lot of
as
effort
we
going
was
into
driving.
that, right?
I mean, they were literally turning in front of it. They would be on a path and then they'd just turn. Every one of them. About 30 of them that we seen. What was going on with that?
Did you receive the image, someone?
Yes, I did. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I got, like I
What did
said,
It's like
I
wow.
got pictures, and that was the moon. That's those craters. I zoomed in on the spot, on the dark spot, and I backed up. I seen something, and I snapped my camera. That was the only picture that I was able to get. Craziest thing. You can see the clouds and everything. And then you see the craters. You see what looks like maybe a star that's lit up in this one little spot.
Man, those are insane.
So I don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of things, and I film it all. Whether it has to do with the sky, I'll show you. What you want to look at? I even got a picture. Hey, look. I was watching this BLC stream out of Marathon, Florida. And I watched it for 6 months, Vikka. Okay? And because it pans left and right on the horizon. You can see boats out there, and about every 20 or 30 minutes, the camera will pan to a different location. Then it'll pan again. Then it'll pan again. But I was watching these boats, and sometimes I was like, they'd pan back, and I was watching it. I mean, I'd watch this stuff for hours just to watch it, just to watch what was going on. You can see on the camera, I think it's about 300 foot above sea level down there in Marathon, Florida. And it was panning over the water, right? And of course, it's flat. But you can see this boat. And then way out there, I don't know how far it was. I couldn't tell you. And then the camera would go, and it'd go back to the boat. And that boat looked like it only moved 4 or 5 inches on the thing, but you could tell it was moving because it was from here to here, and that's from that distance is a long way. But anyway, as I was looking, I'm looking at the star pattern right over the horizon, and actually, and I should have been recording it, but I took a picture of my screen, and from Marathon, Florida, I got a picture of the Southern Cross. Now, what they were showing, and I looked at the star pattern, and the star pattern looks exactly the same. I got that on my YouTube thing too. I think I mentioned it in the detail on the headline of it. And I said, yeah, with the Southern Cross. It's one of my videos. And you look at that picture, and it was crazy, man. I seen it. Okay, and then look, the next day, I was on another one of their streams. I was watching the sunset, right? So I go on there. I'm like, man, look how flat the earth is. Where was that boat at in the sunset? It looked like it was that boat. You could see a boat go in front of the sun, and it, from what they were showing, and I was watching it on my 55-inch screen TV, but what they were showing, it looked like it was not even 1/8 of an inch high. You could see that boat go across the water. This is flat, across in front of that sun, right? So I started talking about it, right? And I told him, I said, look, the other day, here's what happened. I was watching one of your streams, and from blah, blah, blah. And you could see the Big Dipper. I mean, not the Big Dipper, but the Southern Cross, right? And they're like, no way, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, well, flat earthers always talk. So I even donated to their channel. It was the funniest thing. And I'm flat smacking them all, you know? And then the next day I get on the channel out of Marathon, Florida, to look and see if I could see what was going on again. And so I turned it on, earlier in the day, and happened to be some technical guy there working on it, and they changed the camera position. You can ask. I told Karen B about it, and Zach. It's funnier than shit, man. It was crazy. I'm just saying these facts.
If they change the angle, they don't want you to see it twice now, right?
Yeah, they change the angle, Gene. Sure enough. Yeah. Sure enough, man.
Oh yeah, the sky is mysterious, right? We will try to wrap our brains around it, but yeah,
Yeah, that's for sure, right?
it's like a puzzle that we all are trying to put together, right? Everybody's trying to contribute to get that big picture. For sure, we could have gone for maybe more hours, but yeah, we already maybe 40 minutes more than our normal, because we had so many guests today apart from our main guest Flatzoids. So we might be having our last thoughts, and as I said, we will do have open panels maybe during weekdays, because on weekends we are having specific guests. But yeah, it's good. It's good to connect with more like-minded people and share this and pick each other's brain, so we can get to the truth more deeper. So I will have last thoughts from every one of us, and we'll be saying goodbye, guys.
Yeah, I'll say goodnight, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat who came to hang out. I hope you like and share. Please subscribe to Vikka's channel and come back. It would be really great. And I think hopefully you had a good time tonight. I thought it was an interesting show, bro. Flatzoids a great guy. Love to have him back on. And looking forward to seeing more work from him, that's for sure. And thanks to everybody that jumped on in the panel tonight. It was really fun. It was cool to hear some different sides of what we think is going on in the sky up there. You know, it's a great mystery. And personally, I'm not bothered by too many of the questions that I don't have answers to. You know, I'm okay with the what is that? Falsification is independent of replacement.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. I kind of like that. You know, this is a mysterious world. I'm having a great time, and we're happy to share the night with all of you guys. You know, so thanks for coming on, guys. Thanks in the chat, everybody, again. And Vika, thanks for throwing the show, brother. Had a good time, man. Yeah, we could do more of a group conversation during the week here and there. That sounds fun, man. I'd be into that. You know?
Oh yeah, absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
It looks like it's required now, right? Apart from that weekly heliopsychosis, right? It's just so
Sure.
much to share.
A lot going
Absolutely.
Well, it's real simple. You know, thanks for having me on tonight, Vikka. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah, this is what the thing is. I agree with you there, Gene. You say, you know, it's like, okay, we know it's not that.
on.
Okay, so now we embark on finding out what it is.
Right.
Okay, that's the whole thing. And how stagnant could a society or be to progress when they're operating from a place of untruths? If you're trying to develop things from things that are not so, then you're not going to make much progress. I think we could actually develop more societally if we embrace the actual true nature of our realm and work from there.
We are.
So, you know, free your mind and your ass will follow. That's the best way I can put it.
That's great. Very cool.
Oh yeah, brother. Thanks for being here, and yeah, for sure, brother. You're invited too, also, brother. Whenever we have these open conversation, great to have you too, brother.
I sent you some anomalous pictures of the moon that I had
Cool.
in my little collection too. So
For sure,
right,
I'll check it out, brother. Thanks, brother. And Epi Nation, last thoughts, brother, before we jump out. We have a lot of
Yes,
hot micing going on.
I got you. Yeah, sometimes it's like a discussion. You know how that gets. Dave, that's cool, man. Love you, brother. You know, we agree to disagree, and we'll figure it out together, maybe. You know,
that's it, man.
and you know,
hell yeah.
you know, that's what we're doing. That's what we're here for. You know, with observations and pictures and everything. You know, like I said, the P900s and the 1000s are different than than the phone camera or the telescope that's got to run through the program, you know, for its images or whatever. You know, there's a whole difference. And then, like you said earlier, you know, it might be, hey, they control this, they control this. Well, they can't control all of it. You know what I'm saying? Cameras are raw footage, and that's a picture, not an image. You know what I'm saying? It makes a difference. So, but yeah, I got you. And Gene, nice talking to you again, brother. Hopefully we'll get together, soon. And
Yeah.
I'm going to Flattoberfest. Are you coming? Are you going, Dave?
Where is it?
TBD. I don't know, man. It all depends on, how we get our shit together or whatever we got going on here. It's the last one we were able to get to because it fell within a window that worked for everybody. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Cool.
Where is
And
it?
That's a ways off, man.
Myrtle Beach.
Oh, same place.
That's a lot closer, yeah.
Myrtle Beach this time. I think that's where it's going to. I haven't posted it yet, but I think that's where it's going to be. And Vikka, I know your time and everything. Spain is a little bit difference on your time zone over there. I appreciate you letting me on, brother. Thank you very much. And we're all trying to learn this thing. Like I said, if we see stars in front of the moon and not behind it, that destroys it. And if the sun is lighting up that moon, that destroys it too, because it's on a flat plane. We know they're the same height in the sky, no matter what. And that's the way our model shows it on the flat plane. That's the way the Gleason map talks about it on the flat plane. So, we'll go from there. Like I said, less atmosphere up there, thicker down here. That light pushes through, lights up the moon. And like I said, if everything else like I said, it comes to everything being close, man. And that's what I'm saying. Stars in front of the moon, that destroys it right there. That's all I can say, brother.
Nice.
Absolutely, brother. Thanks for being here. We've been trying to get you also here from a long time. So that was great that you passed by today. Right. So
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. So guys, yeah, there we have it. Thanks everybody for being here, brother. FE Nation, Sovereign Soul, Gene Edited, and especially Flatzoid was the special guest of tonight. And like this, we all have everybody gathered together here. So awesome. We'll be doing that more. So that's what we have for tonight for everyone here. And make sure you guys check us out on the next episode of Heliopsychosis podcast for more amazing guests and these kind of open discussions that we'll be having. All right. So thank you, Gene. Thank you, Sovereign. Thank you, FE Nation. Thank you, Flatzoid. And thank you, everyone in the chat. See you soon in the next episode of Heliopsychosis podcast. This is your host, Vikka, Draziv, signing out, guys. Bye. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.